This is Charles Haley. You're listening to Nothing But Niners.
So now they've got to start from deep in their end of the field, and Garrison Hurst takes advantage of it. Takes the handoff, sweeps his leg, gets to the 20. He's at the 30. Needs to cut in. He comes back up the right sideline. Breaks the third tackle. Comes down to the 30. He's down to the 20. He's down to the 10. He's down to the 5. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown 49ers. 96-yard run from scrimmage. Garrison Hurst.
Young, back to throw. In trouble, he's going to be sacked. No, gets away. He runs, gets away again, goes to the 40, gets away again, to the 35, gets back at the 30, to the 20, the 50, the 10. He died. Touchdown, 49ers.
17, Rawlins, 27-yard line. 49ers into the backfield. Smith on third down. He'll take it himself for first down and more. Alex Smith, it's in. Touchdown.
His left hip. Third down, Alex takes the snap. Alex looking down in post, and it's good. Touchdown. Touchdown 49.
It is second down. Ryan takes the snap, goes to slant to the left side. It's Russell, intercepted. The 49ers pick it. And Navarro Bowman is redemption. Navarro Bowman running it all the way for a touchdown. No greater redemption.
Kaepernick shoots it. Hold everybody. Colin Kaepernick. What a game. Touchdown.
Click, click, boom. What's going on, faithfuls? The Nothing But Niners crew is back, and we are here to bring you guys a fun-filled show. Before we get to that, fellas, what's going on, man? How y'all doing up there?
What's good, baby? What's good? What's good? What's good?
All right, man. All right, Brian, you good over there, man?
All good, man.
All right. I'm glad that the guys are back together, man. We're here to break this damn game down, man. This was a hard one to watch again, and we're going to go through all that. You guys saw the formalities up there. Make sure you guys are like, subscribed, clicked in, reviews, and all that good stuff. Make sure you guys know your spots, man. It was there. Boom. One more time for you guys. You see it all there. So make sure you guys are following and all that good stuff. Okay, we have reached 10,000. Look for a video this week, tomorrow evening. You guys will see a video. That is where you guys are going to be able to comment, and we will select 3 random people from that video for the giveaway. We have reached 10,000. That was our goal. Thank you all very much. Without all of you guys, it would not be possible. So, and also for the person with like 300 fake accounts, I appreciate you too. That takes a lot of work. I appreciate all that kind of stuff, man. But guys, man, we got some news to talk about here. The Niners are signing people. There's free agents out there now that people are going to say the Niners should go after. Where do y'all want to start? We got injury news. What's up? How y'all want to do this?
Well, I mean, the earliest injury news, right? Quan Alexander, possibly a high ankle sprain. Possibly because they said that they're not sure what the severity of it is. Haven't heard anything about that other than that. And I think that was it pretty much on the injury side, right?
Yeah, I don't think I heard anything else from Shanahan. He said that Jimmy felt the regular and expected soreness. Nothing new from that front. And did we get an update on the corners returning possibly this week?
Oh, Richard Sherman had a setback.
He won't be playing, I don't believe, in this game. That's what I heard.
Right. Richard Sherman is not expected to be up anytime soon. So we'll keep an eye on that. That situation still doesn't feel weird to anybody else?
At this point, bro, it's an injury plague season, so it's just another injury to me, man. Whatever it is, and let's hope he comes back. And if not, it is what it is. We need to learn how to put some points up on this offense, though. That's what we really need to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, we can get to it, man. All right. So the first half was ugly. Let's start with the one that everyone is talking about here. This is the big one here. Why was Jimmy Garoppolo benched? When you guys went back and watched this game, what was your takeaway?
Shit show.
Yes, yeah. What was your takeaway? How did you guys assess the play of the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo in particular?
I'm still where I was before. I mean, there was a lot of phantom rush that he rushed on a few. I don't know if that has to do with his ankle, but then even his release didn't look right. Footwork didn't look right. Like I said, from the gate, was anybody else worried about the way Jimmy Garoppolo was throwing the football? It just looked like there was nothing on it. It just literally looked like there was nothing on it. The interceptions, obviously, to me, they were just they were just Jimmy. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, that's Jimmy's play. Like, sometimes, like on the one throw, if he would waited just a little bit longer with it, instead of getting worried about the rush that wasn't even there, he had the pocket open. You got whatchamacallit wide open behind the linebackers. And then he just throws it short and into a linebacker's hand, and it's just like, all right, well, this is Jimmy.
I don't think it's just Jimmy. Clearly he just wasn't. Even his good throws were bad. So clearly something was up. Whether it was in his head, whether it was his ankle, Jimmy just wasn't Jimmy. And he wasn't the Jimmy that we saw against the Jets. He wasn't the Jimmy that we saw, come out on fire and just seem like, I could throw the interception and shake it off and keep moving. It just looked like, and I'm not trying to use this as a cop out, he just didn't look well. I don't know how much that ankle was bothering him in this game, but clearly it looked like it was bothering him because all his throws looked like flat duck bills. Like they just was like blah, 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 like in the air. Like I couldn't figure out. I mean, he had a couple of darts in there. I know he had one IU across the middle for like 16 yards in the first quarter. But a lot of his throws were low. Some of his throws were just off. That one throw, Nick, the first interception was in double coverage. It was to Jerick McKinnon, and if he could have just threw the ball to the outside of him, possibly that ball goes out of bounds, or Jerick maybe tries to make a play with his little frame or whatever or whatnot, but it went right into the safety's hand. So that was just a horrible read. I don't know if he didn't see the rest of the field. I don't know if we're talking about the same interception, Nick, but clearly he's not patient enough because he's getting hit a lot.
I honestly think Kyle rushed him back. I don't think he was ready to come back. And I think after the disaster the week prior with his backup quarterbacks, he was in a rush to get Jimmy back, hoping that he could spur this offense into doing something that he wasn't ready to do. That's what I think as far as Jimmy's performance. I think he was still feeling that pain. I mean, obviously the next day they said he came in, he was sore. Of course he was sore. He's going to be sore no matter what, coming off, not playing for a couple weeks, but I think he came back earlier than he should have. But he can be medically cleared and still be not ready to play. And so I think that he would have benefited from another week of practice and reps just to get back in the motion before they brought him back on the field.
All right. I like that. All right. We're going to take a little sidebar here. Forgot to mention a signing that the team did. They signed a player off of Tampa Bay's practice squad, cornerback Parnell Motley. I don't have the information in front of me. He's someone that I wonder if Eric Crocker's around. He's probably watching the game, but I wouldn't want to disturb him now. But Eric Crocker had some film cut-ups of this guy during the draft process. He thought pretty highly of this young man. I don't know much about him other than I think he's 6 even and he's like 180, 190 pounds, somewhere around there. But I don't know anything else about him. Do you guys have any information on the corner? He's a cornerback, some secondary help of the signing of Parnell Motley.
Sounds like a desperation move.
It just sounds like another move. That means somebody's not ready to go.
Right. He's on a practice squad somewhere else. I mean, I'm not excited to like, okay, great. You brought him to the team.
Well, I mean, it just sounds like that the 49ers aren't secure with who they have on the roster. Absolutely. And it's possible Brian Allen ain't coming back. And I'm sorry. I don't care if Crocker says he's good. He ain't good until he plays on this team and gets tried. That's how I'm going to evaluate this particular person. We watched the guy come in the game, look like he had good size, good wingspan, was also a former wide receiver, and just could not figure out what to do as a DB. He was thrown into the fire and he got torched.
Right. The Motley guy, I saw, there was a couple of people I saw had said that he was, whatever conference he came from, he was one of the elite cornerbacks in that conference.
From Utah, right? I think he was from I think he went to Utah, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, we had another player that went to Utah that didn't pan out till like 13 years later in the league, but you know, I'm not gonna bring his name up. But all I'm saying is, I just just don't know, man. We know Richard Sherman is not going to be here. This lets me further know, or lets us further know, Richard Sherman is not going to be back for some time. We probably won't see him till probably the bye week, after the bye week, guys. That's like the whole season. And you know, he's injured or whatnot. I mean, Emmanuel Mosley, maybe he's not coming back. He's still in the concussion protocol.
All right. We're gonna have to see. We'll keep our eyes on that, obviously, but that is a roster move that we forgot to talk about.
He came out of Oklahoma. Sorry,
Oklahoma. Okay. All right. Yeah. So Nick put up. Someone put up a couple of comments. People saying that they saw them.
Who came out of Oklahoma? Brian Allen?
No, Motley.
I was talking about Brian Allen.
I know. I was following up.
Oh no! I know you were. I'm telling the Mac. I was talking about Allen. Somebody commented Oklahoma Breezy. I wasn't talking about the new guy.
Okay, I got it.
It's weird because like we say that he's a beast, but he doesn't make a roster. But there's reasons why some people don't make rosters or some people don't get drafted, right? They could have injury history, just not ready to take over a spot. They're loaded at a spot. With some other reasons why good players don't make it on the roster of a team.
We've seen that happen here where there were guys that we like that we think would be contributors on other teams. Look at Kevin Given. He's somebody that we thought had some potential. Julian Taylor was someone that we thought had potential. There's a couple of defensive linemen that we had as depth pieces that we had to bring up from practice squad to get them their time here. So we've seen it before. It's not impossible. Like I said, we have to see what's going on with it. But there's the question at the bottom is, why was Jimmy Garoppolo benched? So all of you guys talked about it and you did assess him. You guys did break down what you thought of him. But why do you think Kyle Shanahan pulled him? Now, I believe it was Nick posted a comment from an article in the group, and I have that here. Let me pull that up here. And
while you're pulling that up, my 2 cents is I honestly think that given CJ's performance the week prior, I think he expected him to play something like that in relief, but obviously that didn't happen.
All right, so you think he was benched for performance, and they needed someone else to try to provide a spark?
Because I think he knows he brought him back too early. So I think that was his fix, was this is not working. Obviously, I made a mistake. Let's put CJ back out there. All
right. Nick and Breezy, do either of y'all think it was due to injury or maybe not injuring him further?
I think it was both, to be honest with you. I think it was he wasn't looking like Jimmy Garoppolo. He wasn't throwing the football like he does. You're down 21-7 at that point, I believe, right? Long more than that.
They benched him at halftime, right? Weren't we losing
30-7, yo.
30-7, sorry.
Killing us.
Sorry, 30-7. I meant to say you're down by 21.
Because he threw that interception, Nick, with 30 seconds left, and they got a field goal off of it.
Right. So you're down by, you're down 30-7. So it's a 3-possession game. What more? And he even said, like, the offensive line wasn't playing right. You put him in a position where you're down by so much. He's already playing on a half-injured ankle to where, he wasn't being himself. So why risk it? And, he said in his presser that, we had a talk and conversation and we both agreed and it was the best thing for the team. So we just took him out.
All right. Breezy, I saw you nodding your head when Nick said it was a little bit of both. You agree with that sentiment?
I think it was more than that. You know what I'm saying? I think it was performance. I think it was injury. I think it was part mentality too. And here's the thing, yo. We were getting our tails handed to us. There's no way Jimmy was pulling a Joe Montana in this game. Like it just wasn't happening. And I think Kyle realized that, and he was just like, yo, man, let's go. We'll get CJ in here, get him some reps or whatnot. If we come back, we come back. And if we don't, oh, well, on to the next game. I mean, it looked like Kyle was on to the next game by the end of the first half. Nothing was going right. And again, that comes down to coaching, guys. Like, I just felt like they allowed it to get like this. It wasn't just that, you know, Ryan Fitzpatrick was having dying old way with this defense. It's just that they wouldn't do anything to adjust. And it got too out of hand. And I think because of that, they decided to say, Jimmy, you know, take a seat, bro. We got you. We'll see you next week. I think he plays this week. Matter of fact, I think he plays this Sunday night.
So, Nick, what article is this from?
That is actually from Kyle Shanahan. That's a quotation. So that's
I believe it was Matt Miyoko.
That's a beat writer quoting what he said. And if you listen to the presser, I have the clip, but I can upload the clip too.
So the first paragraph here is what made me laugh, and this is why I thought it was worth bringing to the show. The decision to replace Garoppolo wasn't due to a less than ideal performance, as the 49ers trailed by 23 points going into half. Instead, the 49ers staff believed the quarterback's lingering ankle injury was impacting his play on the field. They say it wasn't performance-based, right?
It wasn't, man. Come on.
But when you listen to Shanahan, he said, maybe he didn't mean to say this, but he said if we weren't down by that much, he probably would have finished the game. Did anybody else catch Shanahan saying that?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Mike. We were getting blasted. I think he would have been in the game had the game been close.
So that means that
it's not injury.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
I'm not crazy. Okay.
But that's why I said it's a little bit of awe. I think the injury part is there because it's going to be there for the rest of the season. It's a high ankle sprain. So he's always going to be lingering or hopping or limping. But I guarantee you, if he was making some of these throws or having time to make the throws or whatever, if he was performing different or well, he would have limped on and kept this game going. This didn't even have to be a shootout. When you go back and watch this game was big, explosive plays. It didn't have to be a shootout. It's just that they were getting explosive plays and the 49ers were trying to control the clock, and it just wasn't working.
Right. And the explosive plays were working. That's the other thing, too. I think I saw a stat. It was like 7 plays of 20 or more yards.
Gosh, Lee.
Like that's insane.
And
and we held them to only 100 rushing yards. When you have a lead like that and you only rush for 100 yards?
And then factor in the penalty yards that extended those plays. They gave them the touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
73 yards. And
good golly, old Molly.
All right, so we have this interception pulled up. And by the way, I saw this Mariner who someone put up a contribution, Marine Ranger.
Yeah.
There was no comment attached to it, but thank you for the contribution. If there's something you want to say, I'll try to scroll back through and see if you type something afterwards. But we appreciate the contribution, Nick. I believe you have the Jimmy's first interception up, right?
Yeah,
we can pull that up and see. Hey, I just want to let you know, when I watch this game, I watched it as if, all right, so like when really good teams get beat by underdogs, I truly enjoy it, right? And I swear, if I wasn't a Niners fan, I would have enjoyed this game because they're the defending champs, and this team that came in here was not supposed to beat them like that. And they did everything.
Don't say that.
Listen to me, man. They did everything.
This is a shell. This is the team is defending champs, but this team is not the defending champion.
Right? No.
They're all on IR.
I get that, but I'm talking about the Dolphins. They did everything you want to see a team with nothing to lose go into a game and do. They took shots early, and they kept taking shots. And if it wasn't broke, they didn't try to fix it. Like they didn't get too cute for themselves. They didn't outsmart themselves. All right, you switch corners. Let's test them. Okay, you know what? He got that. Let's go to the other guy. You lost your nickel. Okay, let's test him. Who's the replacement nickel?
Yeah.
Got him. Here we go. Now you get what I'm saying? Like they played basic football.
They played basic mentality football and beat us
And
bad.
beat the brakes off of us, man.
And part of me wonders if that wasn't Fitzpatrick. He's a veteran, guys. Like, it's nothing. He's 37 years old. I wonder if Kyle was thinking. It's not like you got some young quarterback like a Derek Carr who might not see those reads or know to pick on the new guy or whatever. But the moment Brian Allen came out of the game,
that's in the game plan, man.
But the moment he came out of the game, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he saw Akello, he saw Verrett, and who did he pick on? The nickelback. The moment he came out, it was like clockwork for them. They did try
Akello and they got the flag, but I think the report when you get back to the huddle is, hey, that guy was right on me. I don't know if I'm getting
exactly.
That you know what I mean? So it was, and that was to a tight end, by the way. So it wasn't even like with the receivers, Akello was on them. You know, so it was a little different. But you're right, Breezy. Like they were like, yeah, that ain't gonna work. Let's find somebody else to pick on. And they did it.
They did it.
So all right, let's get to the comment and then let's get to this play here. This is from Walter Galavis. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong. No disrespect intended. It's bad when we had all that firepower out there and only score 17. Debo, Ayuk, Bourne, Kittle, Mostert, Juice. We should have scored 50.
That's our offense, guys. That's the offense we said that we were excited to see. They were finally together. That doesn't mean that they were going to gel together because they all haven't played together like all season, but they were out there. And they weren't all out there at the same time. I mean, we ran different sets and different personnel, but they were there. The firepower was there, but the person pulling the trigger just wasn't on.
Man, okay, all right. Let's show this play really quick, and then let's break down this. Let's talk about this game here. I think it's funny that we're talking about the offense a lot, and I think most of the blame is probably going to go to the defense. But
the blame is going to go to the defensive coordinator.
Right.
I'm going to be specific. You can blame who y'all want. I'm about to cut his hair off his head. He ain't got no hair on his head.
ED said, that was a scheme. They didn't change anything.
You have to make adjustments.
Right.
At this point, this is your what year as a defensive coordinator? And you've been running the same type of defense. You don't know how to make adjustments, or you just won't make adjustments. And that's what Nick was alluding to. Are our coaches stubborn? Like, what is it? All right, Nick, you got the play pulled up. You've been waiting patiently. Let's crack this play.
Is this 4 receivers or just 3 receivers in the tight end?
I can't see the top.
Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna make it bigger. Give me a second.
Thank you, brother. So we got 1 receiver, 2 receivers, 3 receivers in the tight end, 4 receivers in the tight end.
No.
All right.
1, 2, 3.
No tight end, 4 receivers, right? Unless that's George Kittle right there in that.
Right. One of those guys could be Kittle. All right.
That's Kittle right here.
Kittle's in motion.
They had Kittle out wide.
They had him out wide, bro. This game was different.
Coming in.
Didn't we talk about? Wait a minute, Mike. Didn't we talk about that? Wasn't that one of our arguments?
Yep.
Well, he didn't stay out wide though. But
right.
I told you they line him up out there. He's a receiver.
What you doing?
Look at all the time. Look at all the time he has here.
That is a clean pocket too, bro. That's probably the best pocket he had all night.
Is that the interception?
Yeah.
But I don't see anyone open. You said someone got open.
No, wait. Oh.
No. I said on this play he felt pressure. So let's go back some.
Yeah, but no one was open. Whether he felt the pressure or not, bro, I didn't see anyone open. Or I gotta get glasses too.
It depends on how early in the play you're talking, but he's in shotgun. I want to count how many steps. How many times they make him drop back? They were really trying to protect him.
1, 2, 3. It's a 3-step drop.
Out of shotgun though.
Pump fake right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I just don't
right there. Look right at the hash mark.
I don't see anybody open, guys. I'm sorry. I thought the pump fake happened because he thought the guy was gonna get open. You guys slay me because you said these guys could get open. I didn't see anyone open.
I don't know who's got the crossing route.
All right, well, let's watch each receiver. So let's watch this top guy first.
Okay. Move, final score. Move.
Yeah, I'm trying. It won't. It takes a while.
Now, see, I
He's
would
got
have
him
threw
there.
it to that
He's got it
receiver.
right there.
He
That's
had
not-
him.
That's not open, but that's the
No,
receiver
but-
I would
okay,
have
but
threw to.
the receiver pulled up because he saw Jimmy wasn't even looking that way no more. He threw it to the other side. So if you look back, I think Jimmy was supposed to go there first, and that was the pump fake. He had that guy beat. He could.
Let's go back and watch that.
But what's the other
Receiver.
angle? Because we can see the numbers better usually in the other.
At the end of the day, he wasn't open, but that was
No,
man coverage, and that's where you throw the ball.
He's
Why,
open.
Mike? Why do you
Look.
throw the ball in man coverage? Let's talk about it.
He's open right there,
Out
though.
in front of him. He's
open.
got that all day.
That's
He's
not.
open, bro.
That's not open. That's coverage.
The-
But
no, the defender.
He
not-
had separation
not-
until he knew the ball wasn't
that's
coming
not
his
open,
way.
bro.
Right.
The way Jimmy G throw the ball, that ain't open because that ball's underthrown. That's a pick six. Now let me say something though. That's the guy I would have threw it to, because all you got to do is kind of like overthrow the ball, right? It's in man coverage. So if you put air under that ball, you overthrow it to that guy in man coverage. That's a penalty, guys.
You're not getting an interception if you try him either, because that defender never turned around. That was his back.
That's why I'm saying you got to go that route, guys.
All right.
Whether he was open or not is what I'm trying to say. You guys
He
are
was
saying
falling too. He was falling down.
You
Like,
guys are saying he
the
was
defender.
open.
Yeah.
I'm saying he wasn't open. What I'm saying is, open or not, that's where I'm going. Because it's just man on man. You give your that's Jimmy's that's a flaw. He wasn't. I didn't think he was open, but I think that's where I'm going if I'm a quarterback. I'm looking at down. I'm finding man coverage as a quarterback, and that's what I was talking about at the beginning of the show before we went on air, guys. When I said that we don't have the wide receivers,
Jimmy
we're
never even
missing-
looked that way.
did he not? I'm sorry. Let me
He
shut
never.
up.
He never looked. Look at the stripe on his head.
I didn't see it because I saw the pump, but I thought the pump went to the.
Look at the stripe
Yeah.
on his helmet. He never looks that way.
Watch Brunskill. Brunskill blows this play up because he throws Garland out of his block.
Blows it up as in bad blow, or
Yeah, like he literally blocks Garland out the way so the other guy can come around and get him.
offensive line is trash.
Watch Brunskill.
It's really bad, guys.
Yeah, we got to talk about that too.
Yeah,
So
It's really bad.
Look at the stripe here, right?
and then watch his
All
strike.
right, I'm watching this. I'm watching where you have your arrow.
And watch Bourne when he comes across too.
I thought Kittle Bourne comes across.
He comes across the midfield.
Who's the guy that went out that I said throw it to? All right, let me watch
Look at
his
it.
head.
He's left.
Turn,
Left.
turn.
He
turn,
might look straight.
turn.
Straight.
Nope.
And then
He could have hit Bourne
Okay.
there,
Right there, he could have hit Bourne.
but he
No,
should
there's a
have.
linebacker right there.
Nah,
No, before he
look at
gets to the linebacker,
Oh,
he
guys,
should have hit
come
Bourne.
on, man. That's a dangerous throw.
it. No, look at this. Watch right here.
I'm watching.
He had a better chance to catch it than the guy he threw it to.
That's a linebacker. Yeah, but then that's a pick six. You throw right to a linebacker.
Why
Ain't
doesn't
nobody
this-
there.
Why doesn't this view show the receivers outside?
Because it's from the end zone
Because
view.
it's from
that's
this.
why.
Yeah.
Watch, look. Kendrick Bourne turns
And then you can't see the linebacker coming up, but he's right there.
right there. Yeah.
Look at that.
Come on, guys. You can't throw that.
Or
I-
if Bourne
I
had
see what-
kept
I see
going
what Breezy's
across that
saying.
seam, he could have.
No, you couldn't throw that. Look, the
Yeah,
route
no, I
Kendrick
see
Bourne
what-
ran, that was a bad
linebacker
route.
there waiting. Yeah, that guy's standing there waiting for that ball.
Yeah,
When he
because
crosses past
this
the middle linebacker, he could have led him out that way too. But
Nah,
Bourne
this
stopped
line-
running.
no, Brian, this linebacker comes across.
I know. Once they pass him and the other one who's with him, whoever is on Bourne, as they pass 21, if Bourne keeps going, he could have hit him. Garoppolo could have led him for that reception.
Nah. The only way
Yeah.
Bourne catches that pass, Brian, is if Bourne changes
that
the
shit
route. If he changes the route and runs it shorter and comes across. Watch it again.
I will.
Now, if he cuts that route shorter and does a quicker slant opposed to that
He could have hit him on the left hash mark,
okay.
and if he didn't like it there, he could have waited till he got past the middle line or whatever 21 is. Not a linebacker. Who's that? Safety.
Yeah, that was a safety that came in. That safety was lurking. Boom.
Brian saying right.
Right here. As soon as
Here.
Bourne turns, he could have fired
Yeah,
that
right
ball.
there.
They could have caught it there. And if not there, if Bourne
Oh,
steps
right
on
there.
it, he could
That's
lead
it.
him right there too.
I think the route that Bourne was running was
That's a shitty pass. I don't know what the fuck Jimmy was, or excuse me, what he was doing there.
that is a bad pass. That's why I said it. Had he threw the ball to the outside, the left outside of Jerick McKinnon, then A, it's gonna go out of bounds. You know what I'm saying?
Watch Brunskill here though.
Oh yeah, let me watch this offensive lineman. I keep forgetting.
Watch this block right here. And then we'll move on to something else. But
let's go to the second interception. He only had two.
Brunskill takes his guy right here and throws him into Garland. Watch this. Look at this.
That's not on Brunskill. The guy was putting a move though. Like it's
and he did a pretty good job recovering and picking
exactly
up
like that was the defensive lineman trying to put the shooky dookie on Brunskill. And yes, he does go into Garland, but he dang sure recovered. At the end of the day, Jimmy.
Yeah, I was just saying, because this is the guy that puts the pressure on Jimmy.
Right, but watch. All right, so boom, Brunskill got this guy. See how the guy put that step in? He had no choice but to go that way, or it would have been holding.
Brunskill recovers. Look, boom,
and then picks up the guy.
Yeah,
and he still got him. And they lucky they didn't call hold, but that's the pressure Jimmy felt, and that's why that throw was trash.
That was trash throw, bro.
I don't know if you guys can see it. There was another contribution after the one you read.
I'm sorry.
I lost it. It went away.
Thank you for the contribution.
I don't see it on my screen. I'm sorry. I mean,
who said to me? Was it Tony? I think Tony said to me that Brunskill is better at tackle, yo.
Yeah.
And Ben Garland needs to be the guard.
That's his natural position.
That's his natural. But thank you.
But we don't have a tackle that we're gonna pull.
Where is Justin School?
On the bench.
Why?
Because he's swing. That's why.
Swing or not, he probably will be doing better on this offensive line somewhere.
Yeah, but swing only means that you can play both sides.
No, I know what swing means.
No. I'm saying to Brian, like it doesn't matter if he's swing.
I mean, he can't start. Is he? McGlinchey isn't playing poorly. Shut up! I thought Mike was looking at me because I can't tell. McGlinchey isn't playing poorly, and Justin and Trent Williams isn't playing poorly enough to bench. You know, but dang. So didn't Brian say maybe it's time to see the rookie?
Well, I've said that I'd like to see McKivitz out there anyway, but I have really spent the last couple of days trying to wrap my head around this offensive line and get my thought process away from what the media told us all off season and training camp and everything else. And I had to realize that Trent Williams may be an awesome tackle, top tier, but he hasn't played football in over a year, right?
I said that.
Okay, so that then in turn has a direct effect on how Tomlinson does his job. And on the other side, you had Mike go and lose a bunch of weight. Well, I don't know a bunch, but he said he lost like 15 pounds or something this offseason because he wanted to thin down so he could be faster. And I think that his thinning down has put him in a situation where he's not as not reliable, but he's just not as strong as he was before, or he didn't have the mass that he had before. So that's causing him to get pushed back, which is then turning to also affect Brunskill's ability to do his job, or Kittle, or the fullback, Juszczyk, whomever's out there to help with the blocking scheme. It has an effect across the line. And so I really hadn't thought about it that way because I've got my head so wrapped around like we have this awesome guy, Williams coming in to replace Staley. And that's maybe not the case because he's rusty. It's, and there's been some changes on the other side physically for McGlinchey, and I think that may be taking an effect across the line there.
Look, we've watched Trent Williams get worked on some plays, and we watched him have some great blocks. So let's not act like he hasn't performed well, because he has. Whatever's going on, I feel like it's something bigger than what we're thinking that it is. I think it has to do with communication on the offensive line. I think he's thinking somebody is supposed to be at a certain spot due to the scheme that they're running on the offensive line, and they're not there. Like, I think it's just a lot of miscommunication. And it could just be that, it could be part of what you said, Brian. Like he hasn't played football and it's starting to catch up with him after week 3.
Well, we can go through those too, but let's just finish the interceptions, the 2 interceptions by Jimmy, then we can move on. If we're going to move on to offensive line, we can do each sack and see.
It was 5 sacks in this game, 3 on Jimmy, 2 on what you call it. And I think we should break those down.
I think that if you want to play the play, but I don't think that Trent has played well outside of week 1.
Okay.
Outside of week 1. And then to go to the microphone and indirectly throw other people under the bus, that's a problem in this locker room. That's something that we don't do in this locker room. That's not something that happens here. And
I didn't hear that. I don't know
what he said was that according to coach, like, I did my assignment.
Right. People in the building know that what I was doing was the right things to do.
Right. So if you want to take that as him indirectly throwing people under the bus, that's fine. But he also put coach's name in there. And on top of that, the coach went and backed it up. So
you're talking about the last time he talked. I thought he said something.
Right. No, but when you go to the podium and you say that, I instead of what we would normally hear, I had some bad plays, I got to clean it up. We're gonna get better. We're gonna keep working on it. Like, that's it. Not I did my job except for a couple of plays. Coach knows and people in the building that, like, what you're doing, you're taking that spotlight off you and you're making people go search for other people. That's not something that we're used to on this team from our players in the media. They don't. You've never heard a player say, "Yeah, well, that wasn't my fault." You've never heard that from the 49ers in 4 years, and we had some really bad years here. We started 0-8 one year. You never heard that from anybody, and now it's. I don't.
Do you think a lot of it has to? Do you think a lot of it has to do with the way the questions are addressed? And because they always say something about, we know you haven't been playing with the rust. Do you feel like you're playing up to your standard because you gave up this sack? And then that's where he turns and says, well, I did what I was supposed to do.
Well, see, but they didn't specify a play. So I understand what you're saying, right? But if they said a specific play, you did and he said, no, that wasn't what I did on that play. That might be what it looked like on the TV copy, but my assignment was something else. That's different.
That's what he said, though.
No, but they didn't specify a play is what I'm saying. So what they said was, you're like what Nick said, you're rusty this year. It looks like you're rusty. Maybe it's because you haven't played in a while. We don't think, are you playing up to your normal standards for yourself? But what do you think is going on? And then he was like, I did my job. Like, that's basically what happened.
But that's not what he said. He said, but you're summing up saying that's all he said. And that's not all he said, Mike. We might as well just play it because he said more. It's like we leaving out all the tidbits of it, but it did. You're summarizing, saying, "Oh, well, I did my job. Somebody else didn't." Like, I felt like that's not how it was said, or whatever.
I felt like I didn't use those words specifically, but that's the message that he sent.
That's whether it was the message or not. That's not what he said. That's how you're receiving the message.
That's how I received that message.
That's how you received it, right? Yeah, I didn't.
That's how a lot of people receive that message.
Again, but I didn't. So my point is, not everyone is receiving that message because that's not what he said.
So how do you take it when he says that, I was doing what I was supposed to do? Is that not blaming somebody else for the poor performance? That's not what he said, though. He said he went out there and did his assignments, right? And he messed up on. He said I messed up on some plays. Some of those plays were on me, and I was where I was supposed to be. Like, he said more stuff to it is what I'm trying to say. Like, and I'm not disagreeing that he said more.
Mike, just play it because Mike wants to play it. I just want to hear it.
Take yourself off mute.
What was going on there?
They had a good game plan.
What was the question? I didn't hear the question.
Last week for the offensive line. Hey, Trent.
Hey.
It was a little bit of a challenging week last week for the offensive line. Can you explain what happened? What was going on there?
They had a good game plan. We wanted to come out and try to establish a run game, and they had a plan for it. We were quite certain that they would play it how we thought they would because they hadn't changed it on film. But they made an adjustment, and it took us a little bit to catch up to it. Hats off to them.
Trent, I apologize if this is a rough question, but most of us haven't seen you basically get beaten like that in a long time. What did you see on tape, and what was that game like?
I mean, it depends on what you mean. If you're talking about pass pro, I was credited for half a sack from the coaches, which I feel like I could have did that play a little better. But, the quarterback got to moving around and, things happen. So, I mean, we could all be better in that sense. And pass pro after that, I was pretty clean from a personal standpoint. Out of 74 plays, probably four to five that I wish I had back. Obviously the penalties they're on me, bonehead, penalties, and gotta erase those from the game. But other than that, from a pass protection, I had a pretty clean sheet. I know sometimes that the public perception can think, some things are on you when, in-house we kind of know they're not. So, that's a tough deal to kind of juggle with, just, dealing with perception versus reality.
So to me, Wayne, what he's saying is that there were issues out there, but it wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Right? That's what I hear.
That's fine. I didn't say you didn't, guys. I said I didn't. I'm not interpreting that because he said we a lot, right? He was talking about we as a team. He said that a lot. Then he said on the stuff on me, I had some bad plays. He owned up to his stuff. So why are we not giving him credit for owning up to what he said? I don't get it.
He owned up about penalties, which you can't argue about, but he did not take ownership of the play of the line
ownership, period. At the end of the day, he took some ownership. Whether it was the ownership you wanted him to take, that's on you. But he took ownership. He said there was
what message did you get?
I wish I could have had back. That lets me know he
received.
I don't get how y'all don't.
You also got to understand the way the question was, and that's exactly what I said. It was a question about him and him not doing his job, and he said in there, from public eye to what reality is, I was doing my assignment.
That's essentially blaming someone else.
The question's based to him, though. It's not about everybody else. The question's based to him.
Right.
So he can't answer for anybody else. He's saying, this is what the coaches credited me with. These are the plays that I should have had 4 or 5 plays back. I made bonehead mistakes with the penalties. He took ownership there. So right. I don't know, I don't think he threw anybody under the bus. He was just saying, in reality, knowing what's behind doors, know that I did my job because the question was based to him on his play.
I think to some extent you have to read between the lines of what he's saying, though.
That's all right. No, it doesn't happen a lot here. Just let it go. It's not going to happen. It's okay. It's not worth it, bro.
I don't crawl into my shell, Mike.
But it's exhausting sometimes. Just let it go.
So we see it 2 different ways.
I don't understand why it's exhausting, Mike. Like it's okay. You have your perception. Wayne has his. Brian has his, and Nick has his. That's fucking life, bro. That's how life works, bro. We don't all got to agree to disagree. So you don't got to say, don't even try, Brian. It's not worth it.
I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from. That's all.
It's like I don't understand why we stay stuck on something when we don't agree on it. We're not going to agree.
You're saying all this after I just said let it go. It's literally what I just said.
Can we move on to the next play, please? Because we're staying stuck on this conversation, and we've been said we didn't agree. It's clear.
All right, so let's go to the second interception. You guys ready? Can you guys see that? Because I can't see it.
Yeah, we got you. I know sometimes it's hard for you to see it.
Yeah, because I can't. I'm on the screen, so I gotta. All right, so let me see what this is, though. Right here, it's 3rd and 10, 26 seconds left to the half. Oh shit! I wanted to hit slow. My bad. Let's go back a little bit.
You said this is Jimmy's second interception?
This is his second interception, right before the half.
Right before the half. This one sucked.
Yeah, so this is right before the half. This is the one where I said he felt pressure. If he would have waited just a little bit longer, he could have hit the guy coming behind the linebackers here. And I believe it is I don't remember who it was. It's Ayuk, I believe. Oh, no, right here.
Who's that? The running back. Who is that right there? Like you can see what I'm talking about. Dang, he was wide open. Was that McKinnon at the 30-yard line?
Right here. Bad overthrow too. Let's take it back.
I can't see that. See the running back.
This actually might be better from the other view.
Yeah, we'll go to the view too right after this.
If this was third down, it was probably McKinnon in there.
Right, that makes sense. He was wide open.
Look at all that time. He doesn't need to throw right there.
I don't see your timing thing. All I know is he had people open. I don't know why Jimmy can't see people open. I don't get it.
Let me put this on fast forward to go to the next play.
I don't understand. I don't. How often do quarterbacks like read through all their progressions, guys?
It doesn't happen a lot.
Okay.
It doesn't happen a lot unless it's a play that's designed to get out quickly and you can go through your possession super quick. But on third and long like that, you're not really looking at everybody, because even if you're turning your head quickly, they're not at their break points yet. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make any difference really. That was the critique. Week 1, I believe they said Jimmy was going through his reads too quickly.
Let that play, Nick. I want to see Jimmy's release.
Yeah, I'm going to let it play this time.
And that
was McKinnon, Mike.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But they were saying that Jimmy was going through his reads too quickly and not letting the routes progress. Remember?
I do remember that.
He wouldn't let them develop all the way. And so, it's a catch-22. I mean, but when the line is doing, look how
him down.
God, did you see that line? Did you?
I think. Do you think the linebacker that jumped?
Bro, look how long Bourne is just standing there by himself.
I'm sorry.
He set up a lemonade stand out there, I think.
I'm stuck on McKinnon.
He's literally standing in the zone.
And he sold a couple of them.
I'm stuck on McKinnon. Again, this is out of shotgun, guys. Something that we
but the throw
look left.
George Kittle was open.
Debo.
Look at George Kittle right there.
Right? And stare.
Look at KB. Watch. Look at this. KB's just standing there.
So I think he threw it high like that because the linebacker jumped.
But, there you go. I'm hoping, Mike. I'm hoping that's why that ball was thrown high.
No, you can't say that.
I'm saying I think. I don't know.
Go back.
Look, the linebacker jumps after the ball's already released. The linebacker's not jumping until now.
Yeah, but so you're saying
the
like the
linebacker jumped way before
of
now,
the linebackers to the line in the pass to get that angle to get up over the linebacker.
That's why I think that pass was high, y'all. Watch 51. I think that's the guy or whoever comes in on the screen, and watch when it jumps. It looks like the trajectory of his pass elevates. I know it doesn't make sense. Dang, Kittle.
It wasn't 51. Here he comes though.
He had mad time.
Yeah, but he's doing a
43.
lot. Oh, he tipped it.
It's 43.
Look at the ball get wobbly. I think
Did it tip?
Go rewind it a little bit, Nick.
How do you see this, Mike? Like, how did you see that?
Because you can see it come out of his hand, then it goes into a duck.
It comes out clean, then it starts wobbling. Look, straight.
Oh, that's a tip pass.
So it bumped up in the air. That's why.
Dang.
Okay. Well, now that changes everything I thought about that play. As far as
it is a tip pass.
That's a tip pass.
Holy
wow. Shit. And this is why we go back and break the film down. Wow. That's not an excuse. That's a tip pass.
That means that he was putting some heat on that ball to get it in that zone too.
I still can't get over Bourne standing there by himself. Bro, hold on. What?
Bourne wasn't by himself. You got the defender right on his back.
No, he's not. Watch this. Watch. Hold on. I got to get
stream. Come on. Boom. There's a defender right there.
Yeah. Hold on.
Bourne would have got rocked and probably dropped it.
You got to catch it and drop it.
Yeah, I hear you, but I just said that because there was a couple of passes he dropped.
Yep, that's Bourne.
Bro,
that pass was the ball was tipped. It changed the trajectory of the pass.
When the last a football game was played on Tuesday? I know I'm random, but I can't help but think about this.
They are killing the Bills too, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
Ryan Tannehill's on my bench. He probably got 50 points.
Well, so that takes out one. That ball was tipped. Clearly.
Let me ask you this question. Mike said on 3rd and long. Let me paraphrase what you. Let me ask you this question. Are you saying on 3rd and long, it's kind of like a predetermined play so that you're not reading the whole field?
No. I'm just saying it's hard to read the whole field, especially if you have 4 guys out. He had his check down guy, which you never look at until you think the play is falling apart. So the fact that he didn't look at McKinnon means he didn't think that he was ever in that kind of trouble.
Okay.
All right. So that means that he had 3. Go ahead, Nick.
Jared could be the hot route though too.
Nah, that didn't look like a hot route. That looked like a.
Well, he just hit the pocket and stayed there. He didn't go anywhere else.
I mean, he went out 8 yards.
Right. No. I'm saying, but once he made his move, he just stopped. He hit the soft spot and just waited in case it was a check down. I think, and that's why I don't think it was a hot route, because I think he would have. I think. Well, I don't know.
Well, I'm saying hot or check down. Like if you see something coming, that's where you're gonna go to. That's gonna be your last.
Right. If the blitz came from that side, then that's thrown right over their head, and he's gonna be right there.
But it's clear that Jimmy felt like he can get that ball in that zone, and that's why he threw it to his playmaker. And it just.
So let's ask this question, because this is what everyone's talking about all over right now. Is this Jimmy Garoppolo, or is this injured, or was this just a bad game from Jimmy Garoppolo? I think that we're too quick to forget the other 26 games that he won. You know what I'm saying? So what are your guys' thoughts on the quarterback himself?
I think they brought him back a week too early. Other than that, he's Jimmy G. Let's go. That's what I think.
Okay.
I don't think it would have mattered when they brought him back. I think the first game he came back, he was going to play like crap. I think that's Jimmy G. Like, he has to get into the motion. He has to get into rhythm. He has to get into. I remember I said that this might be one of those games where Jimmy G's going to struggle for the simple fact that he struggled week 1 against Arizona. Right? Like, it just felt like he needs to get back into some rhythm. I think the fact that this team was down by 23 points at the half, I think that's when it was just like, man, we're done with this game. We got a big game Sunday night, blah, 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 blah. I really do, guys. I really do.
I question
injury or not.
His mindset still. I still question his mindset, but after Nick responds, I'll tell you guys why.
No, I'm sorry. I was just trying to find a good play from him to see what the difference was.
Well, I mean,
that throw to Brandon Ayuk in the first quarter was pretty spot on.
I got the one to, I think, Debo, which is
that Ayuk play I thought was kind of behind him, and Ayuk had to like do some like acrobatic long arm.
Oh, I thought it was in front of him, and it was like right there on the route. I could be wrong though.
I'll be honest. I have not watched the All 22. I didn't do that this week. I wasn't gonna torture myself. I had more fun watching the TV copy and watching Fitz go crazy. Yo, there was a play where Fitz threw. I don't even remember if it was a touchdown or not. It was a big gain though, but he got blasted,
and he's still
he's laying on his back on the ground like
that.
On, let's go.
Was that the touchdown? Was that the touchdown?
I swear, if this was any team other than the Niners getting beat like this, I'd have been like, let's go.
That dude's a warrior. Was that the touchdown that the safeties blew the play on that one? Yeah, Jimmy Ward.
I think so.
Okay. I told you we were going to talk about the defense.
B Water, my friend. I still don't know.
That's my friend.
I feel like
I like that.
Is this a Bruce Lee quote? Is that what that is?
B Water, my friend.
Like just keep flowing.
That's kind of dope.
Like, all right. Just let it flow. Okay. And then where'd it go? No excuses. Alex Smith played better than Jimmy, and how long?
Alex Smith played better than Jimmy.
Alex Smith was pretty bad too. Didn't he get benched too?
He got sacked like 7 times.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he played better than Jimmy. That's not. But I do think that Kyle probably should have let Jimmy finish this game. If injury wasn't the reason you took him out, you got to let your quarterback play through a funk because of what Breezy said a couple minutes ago. He's got to get through his funk phase.
Yeah, man.
You can't
I don't believe a damn word coming out of Kyle's mouth anymore.
Huh?
Said you can't believe a damn word coming out of Kyle's mouth anymore.
And that's different for us this year. We talked about this before the season started. Kyle said, "I'm going to have to be dishonest with you people," and this is different. It's hard to
decipher what's real or what's not.
Yeah, it's really hard. But if you're
that's why I look at people when they're talking, because you can't hide your mannerisms and how you react to things. You can say things differently, but the way you speak and your eye contact and your mannerisms tell a lot about when you have talk about communication.
Speaking of that, All right. So remember I told you guys that the Niners, the team has a certain person that they give questions to ask specifically. I said it was Matt Mayoko. Do you guys remember me saying this a while ago? Matt Mayoko asked the first question of Kyle's presser today or yesterday, whatever day it was.
About Akello?
It was about Akello and Jimmy, I believe. I believe it was about both of them, like the benching and starting thing, right?
Yeah.
And for the first time in 4 years that since Kyle Shanahan has been here, he answered the question. When it was done, he said, "Is there anything else?" You can tell that the team wanted Matt Mayoko to ask a very specific question. He didn't ask the question the way that they wanted him to ask it, so Shanahan could answer it.
Mayoko, he was pissed.
And then they threw it, and then Kyle gave it right back. It's the first time it's ever happened in 4 years. I'll play it for y'all too.
I think Mayoko was thrown off of his game because if you watched his interview, with the network, and that interview, I have that interview too, by the way. If you watch that, like, he was livid. He couldn't.
He was yelling.
Yeah, and you couldn't figure. I don't think I've ever seen him yell. And he was so livid to the point to where he just said something ain't right. Something is really wrong,
right?
And that's scary.
He was. You know what it was? I won't even say that he was yelling. He did raise his voice. Matt was emotional. He's been doing this for too long to be emotional following a game because he's a Hall of Fame voter. So emotions don't play a part in what Matt Mayoko does. He looks at everything objectively and from a very professional standpoint. And he couldn't hold it back. He knows that what we saw is not the 49ers that we deserve, not the 49ers we should be seeing right now. So let me just play this. I'm going to play the original question, Kyle's answer, and listen to how quick Kyle says, "Was there anything else?" And then they give it right back to Matt Mayoko.
Often side or err on the side of wanting to play. But once a player is cleared to play, and I'm speaking specifically about Jimmy and Akello Witherspoon, where do you come in and balance with that communication of what's best for the player and what's best for the team when the player isn't all the way back 100%?
I mean, I go into all those things that you say. I mean, it always starts with the medical staff clearing them, saying that they're good to go. Then it goes to watching the player out of practice Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You get a lot more on Wednesday and Thursday than you do Friday, but all three of those days have a big deal. And then if I see something that doesn't match what I'm hearing, then it's just me personally talking to the player. So you go into all those things. Is that it? Or is there something else?
Why would he ask that question?
Specifically, I mean, with yesterday, it looked to the layman like Jimmy should not have been out there and Akello should have been out there. So what was going on there as far as the decision making with all the levels that you have to go through to make those determinations?
Yeah, I thought Akello was going to be good throughout the week. He did not look that way on Wednesday. Again, didn't look like that on Thursday. Then I talked to him Wednesday night and Saturday and made the decision that it was like it looked in practice. And like he said, so that made us go with other two guys, but he was willing to dress in case of an emergency. And that ended up coming up, and emergency happened it wasn't as quick as it happened faster than I expected because I thought we'd go to Webster second because that was the deal that we had to lose two guys for that emergency to happen. At that time, Webster did have a tight hamstring, which wasn't the main reason for that, but it was also that Kello worded that he was ready to go and wanted to get in. So that was all I needed to hear. When it goes to Jimmy, it was how he looked in practice. I mean, he started out Wednesday like they all do, coming off a high ankle. Looked a lot better Thursday, have no soreness from it, looked good on Friday, looked good in pregame warm-up. So there was nothing that he saw in practice that would have kept him out. If the game was going a little bit differently, I would have kept him in that game also. It wasn't that his ankle was hurt too bad to where he couldn't function and play, but it was definitely prohibiting him. You could tell how he was throwing, just mechanically doing a little bit different than he normally does. When I do see that with my own eyes, and then when I talk to a guy when he comes off the field and ask him, and he kind of echoes similar to the same stuff, I know it's going to be tough for him to throw the way he normally does. And then when me as a coach, I can see where the game's going, what the score is, what's going on in front of me. I know that we're going to have to be throwing a lot in this game to get back into it. And that's why I make that decision, what's best for Jimmy at the time and what's also was best for our team at the time.
have y'all ever heard him say, was there anything else? Just the first question. That's what he said. He's never in 4 years done that. They give Mayoko very specific questions to ask so that way they can clear the air about certain things. That's all I'm gonna say. I'll let it go. I might be the only one who thinks that way.
Was it maybe because of the fact of how Mayoko went off? Because he went off the night before.
The only reason I'm going to say no is because they do rounds. It's only 4 or 5 beat writers, and they let everybody go around 2 or 3 times. If there was something else that Mayoko wanted to ask, he could have asked it his second or third time around. I felt like that question was specifically about clearing the air about why Spoon didn't start.
Right, that's what I'm saying, because he literally, after the game, went off about Kyle Shanahan, the Ahkello Witherspoon, and the Jimmy Garoppolo stuff, and then bang, it's the first question that's asked, and it was, is there anything else you want to know? Is it because Kyle heard what Mayoko said and was pissed off back at Matt for saying what he said? Because he, quite frankly, didn't hold anything back after the game. Then he comes in and he's the first guy, and then maybe like Kyle's just like, well, is there anything else? Like,
nah, I don't. I get you. I understand exactly what you're saying.
Like, if I'm pissed off at you and you're not saying the whole story, then I'm gonna be like, yo, is there anything else? Like, what else you got? Because you had a whole lot to say last night,
right?
Without in front of me. Now here I am. Do you have anything else? Say it to my face, type of thing.
Right. Oh, so you think Kyle was puffing his chest out?
Yeah, that's what I think.
I didn't. If he was, that's a weird way of saying anything else, though. Because you know how I say anything else, but I'm puffing my chest out. Kyle didn't do it like that.
Say about that?
Right, but you gotta understand too. He can't do that publicly.
Sure, he can. He's a human being. He might get fined for it.
Right, but he just got fined $100,000.
Hey, man, I've seen plenty of coaches don't give 2 craps about a paycheck or whatnot. If you come challenge them, they ready to scrap. That's the old football. That's the old NFL. I know we're in the new NFL. Kyle got some old school in him, though. I don't know, man. Guys, it is what it is. Game's over. Like, let's just continue to break down the game, man, because we're not going to know the answers to some of these questions. We're not going to know the truth to some of these questions, and all we're going to do is get bent out of shape about it.
Does Jimmy rebound? Let's do a quick round robin real quick. Yes or no? Does Jimmy rebound?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes. Making sure I wasn't on mute.
Nick?
I'm not too sure.
It's yes or no, Nick. Man, come on. You can't. Nick the cat that failed the test.
Is he the long-term solution based on his contract?
No,
that wasn't the question.
No, I'm asking another question.
Yeah, but I got to answer the first question first.
Here, let me put that up there while Nick is deliberating.
Mike, you're such an instigator, bro.
When I say will he bounce back, I mean this was literally a career worst for Jimmy at 15.7 rating.
There's no way he's gonna be worse than that. So anything better than that is a bounce back.
That's what I'm saying. I'm unsure because I'm unsure because of the fact that does he need to? Yeah, he definitely needs a bounce back game, right? Because this team's not going to go anywhere without a Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, you need to be able to bounce back. But on the other hand, we're playing a good defensive front again. And how is the line going to work? So
you're talking about team performance, not quarterback performance.
Well, your quarterback can't perform if your team's not performing, if your offensive line's not performing.
Right, but his ability to bounce back, is that on him or is it on his offensive line?
It's both.
Shoot, man, I've seen some quarterbacks play with no offensive line.
Russell Wilson can play with nobody standing in front of him.
I did not want to bring that name up
but
ever in my entire
Jimmy
life.
Garoppolo and Russell Wilson.
I wasn't. I said I've seen some quarterbacks play with
but you're also look at the type of play a quarterback they are.
Right. That's why I said Peyton Manning played with bad lines for years. What Peyton Manning would do is say, "Look, I can't stand back there for 3 or 4 seconds, so
get rid of the
we
ball.
have to come up with plays where we can get quick hitters."
Wait. Say that again, Mike.
Yeah, we got to come up with plays with quick hitters. I can't stand back
there. So that's my question to the panel. Do you think that
take a look at the stat at the bottom too? While Breezy's saying this, 3.2 yards per dropback is the second lowest under Shanahan in 4 years, guys. 4 years.
I just think that Shanny. I feel like we let Shanahan off the clip a lot. And if you have a quarterback that's Jimmy Garoppolo and you don't utilize his strengths, that's a problem. I know you want A, B, C, and D and plus X, Y, and Z. I know you want that to work. I understand that's the formula. I get it. But sometimes you got to take out some of those variables, man. And we've seen it happen. It's being done in the NFL, guys. There's no quarterback right now in today's game that's playing with all 6 variables and reading all of them like at the same time. It's just impossible. What happens is lines are breaking down on them and they're extending plays. I would say Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, never mind them, Ryan Tannehill's, Josh Allen's, like these guys are give the quarterback Justin Herbert. These guys are extending plays. Why is it that we can't?
Sam Darnold.
What's the name of the quarterback that did the butt fumble?
Mark Sanchez.
Jimmy G is headed that route if he doesn't get to play his style of football.
Good God, man.
Jesus Christ.
If he doesn't get a chance to play his game, better thing. You want to know what my take on Jimmy G is, and I think he bounces back because I did want to answer this question. I know, Nick, you didn't answer it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I really think Jimmy G is not having fun. Boom, I said it. I think that's what it is.
I don't think anybody's having fun right now.
I think these guys are warriors.
Nick,
let me see if Nick wants to answer it. Or give you another. Do you have it? Are you gonna stay with I don't know? I'm not sure.
No, I'm just saying there's a lot of variables to that question. And whether we say, will Jimmy bounce back? Yes, he needs to bounce back, but you guys just touched on it, right? So you just touched on it. What kind of plays are going to be called to get him into a rhythm? What kind of are we going to roll him out of the pocket like we were doing Mullins and CJ Beathard and get him into his game to where rollouts and get away from the pressure and things like that? Because look, we know Jimmy is a guy who's either A, going to hold on to the football or feel pressure that's not there. That's just Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not a guy that's going to extend the play and rush for, 6 or 7 yards. And he's either going to not throw it out of bounds. He's going to make a stupid throw or hold on to the football and take a sack because of the way that he's built. So
we've seen him extend plays and make something happen or scramble everywhere.
Right, but it's more so very slim to not happening.
It's rare, yeah. Okay,
it's very rare. Yeah. So if play calling to rolling him out and getting me outside the pocket and getting the play action going and getting the run game going, I think he can bounce back. But if you have an offensive line that's playing poorly, the plays aren't being called right, you're keeping him in a position to not succeed.
All right, so
I like this by Ian Sharp.
Well, I wanted to comment. I said these guys are warriors, right? And I was watching one of my favorite shows that it's discontinued now or it's over, was Spartacus, Blood and Sands. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but these guys were literally fighting to the death, and they couldn't wait to get back out there. And it wasn't for freedom, it wasn't for money, it was for the roar of the crowd. I'm starting to believe that that's how this team functions. I'm starting to. I didn't think
Tony's been saying that.
Yeah, I know, and I've been telling Tony, no, that's bullshit. These guys are professionals. Da 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 da. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure anymore. I'm backing down on my take. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think these guys really rely on the roar of the crowd. The faithful traveled well. They took over stadiums. They enjoy silencing other people. The sound of the boos. As long as we control what you're doing, I think they were feeding into it. And these guys at home with the silence, it's killing them. So one of y'all just said that Jimmy isn't having fun. I think it was Brian, right?
No,
Brian, it was Breezy. My bad. You said he's not having fun. Well, what's fun? It's smiling, waving to people, throwing a touchdown, getting pumped up, and hearing the crowd cheer when you throw your hands in the air. All that is done. You're not getting that this season. It's not happening. And this team looks flat. Ian Sharp said, he said it exact. like they really feed off the emotion and roar of the crowd. They're gladiators. They're warriors out there. This team, because other teams clearly don't need it. the Fitzpatricks. And
That's because they're so used to playing with no fans, bro.
Exactly. Yes. No. But Breezy's on to something. Don't nobody show up Dolphin games, Tampa Bay games. They don't. It's the opponent team, the opposing team fans that show up. Not them. They're used to that. They're used to that. This team is not. They're not. They got spoiled last year. You know how many? It was 3 weeks. I heard them talking about the faithfuls. We wish you were here. 3 games went by and they said we wish the faithful were here. That's their mindset.
I told you that. I said that since the beginning of the season.
And at the moment, you're thinking, oh, they're just talking trash because they want their fans there, support.
Yeah.
But you can go back. So if you take what you and Tony and Brian have been saying about this whole fan thing, right? You go back to our losing seasons. There weren't a lot of fans in the stands.
Yeah.
The games we were losing by 3. There weren't a lot of fans in the stands. And then
there were still 20,000 people there. It might not be a packed house at 40, 50, 60,000, but you still
but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. So so they were used to that. They were used to that, but then bang, we start selling out games and the crowd becomes what it is and they feel that energy. An NFC championship game, all this other things. And then you heard somebody say, remember I said to you the other night, I was like, well, a couple weeks ago, I guess it was, is the sound that we're hearing on TV isn't even what the players are hearing.
Right. Nope. That's not the audio they're playing.
That's the broadcast playing that. That's not what the players are hearing in the stadium. Yep. They said it sounds like garbage. It's not even loud inside the stadium.
And let me tell you, I will be the first to say, I think this is a BS excuse.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's horrible. I think it's pathetic.
Okay, because I was ready to chime in, but no, it's cool. You saved me.
No, I think it's pathetic, but I think it's true. I'm starting to think.
It's not that I disagree with you, what you guys are saying about fans. Fans are important. That's why we're fans, and no one does it like us. I'm going to say that. But these guys are professionals, and they got to go out there and figure it out. If they got to sit there and cheer each other on and yell and scream and curse and fight and do whatever it is they got to do to become warrior like, they got to figure it out. They this is another notch on that adversity belt. Then if they revive off the fans' energy and synergy and cheering and whatever support and all that good stuff, and it's not there, I mean, they're gonna it's gonna be like this for the rest of the season then?
Right. Yeah.
That's not fair to us.
Like Mike said, it's a piss poor excuse.
Right.
That's not fair to us though. At the end of the day, as a fan, we could just be like, "Well, beep you." Like we out here supporting y'all the way the only way we can. They need to accept that. I know y'all saying it's a piss poor excuse, but if these players are watching and that's their excuse, nah, B, that's not gonna work.
I called them pathetic. I agree with everything you're saying. They have to do and be better than the crowd noise. They have to get your DJ to play something that some music. I don't know what the licensing rules are. I don't know how it works. I'm not in there, but they have to do something.
They can pay for the licensing. They got money. Jay York got money.
Yeah, but it doesn't come down to that. I mean, the NFL across the board, other than those stadiums that are allowing fans in, they have a set noise that has to be in there. A set, they just can't play whatever they want or do whatever they want.
I tweeted out after the game, will the 49ers have fans in the stands for a reason? Because that's when it started to set in. That's when I started to realize it's not that they want the fans in the stands. They need them.
They draw the energy just like any performer does.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Like I said before, we would have never had National Tight End Day if it wasn't for the fans.
Right. I wanted to believe that we were better than this, but I don't think we are anymore. And that's sad. Mark, thank you go ahead, Breezy.
No, this is where I'm going. You're going to read it, but this is exactly where I'm going. And this is not any shade on the coach. But I think the game plan is just off for this season. I think every year they should come in with a different game plan. Clearly, whatever the game plan is, it's not working. And that's my issue.
Oh, you're talking about in response to the comment I'm about to read?
Yes.
All right. So it says, I'm sorry, but as long as we have Kyle as head coach and Saleh as our D coordinator, it's going to be difficult to win from here on. Kyle is a great play caller when he wants to be, and Saleh cannot stop running quarterbacks. It's interesting. You agreed. I completely disagree with this comment.
Here's why I agree. I agree with it because of I'm not saying I want these coaches gone. What I want the coaches to do is amend what they're doing. Like, they have to progress. Like every year you're supposed to progress. You want your players to get better, so the coaching got to get better, right? Don't the coaches get evaluated? I know the players get evaluated, but the coaches get evaluated. You go to your job, you get evaluated, right? You get evaluated for the amount of work you're doing, and then every year, each new year, your boss comes to you with what? A different vision, a different plan. And now you got to reinsert yourself and how you're going to implement yourself to help, push that plan. I'm clearly, we don't have the proper personnel. The personnel we had was probably proper, but this backup stuff that worked last year ain't working this year because teams adjusted. Teams progressed. We got beat we got beat.
Go ahead, Nick. I know you wouldn't jump in. Go ahead. I heard you.
I understand where you're coming from, Wayne, but you also look, this goes back to what I've been saying. I mean, before last year, is while some of this is on coaching, a lot of it is on players and execution as well.
Agreed.
So
I disagree.
I can't say that it's Kyle's play calling or Robert Saleh can't stop running quarterbacks.
He
right?
can't.
Right? But it's not just him.
I'm just saying his plan can't stop running quarterbacks.
Well,
or he doesn't have the right personnel to do it. It's you get what I'm saying?
But that's right. But personnel has a lot to do with it.
I understand that. And then he needs to go to his head coach or whatever and say, we need this and we need that. That's his job. I know his job is to take what he got and make it work. But he can only make stuff work with what it is. So if you have these pieces, Nick, then adjust. Leave what your scheme is and figure out something different. That might not be easy. I'm just saying if it's not working, you need to fix it. But if it ain't broke, then you don't fix it. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's broke.
Right, but that's the thing, right? So look, this isn't like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy. But when you don't have the right personnel, or even if you have the right personnel and they're not executing the way that they should be, it doesn't matter how good your scheme is or how good the player is. If they're not executing in that specific thing, you can't change your whole scheme for one or two different type of quarterbacks, right? So you have to make it work. So last year in the wide nine, we had speed from the edges, which helps with the wide nine, right? Because obviously they crash the pocket and move. Then the linebackers have quick speed where they can cover gaps and things like that with the wide nine. This year, you're lacking speed on the outside. You're still in the wide nine, but you also can't go and switch a complete different scheme because of two players being down when you're already going into week 6.
Sure you can.
How can you?
How can you? What do you mean? How can you?
You don't even know who's starting week to week right now.
Maybe just not be then that's the point. Why be in the wide nine? If your key pieces are missing to make the wide nine work, bring it back to the inside and play base defense and not wide nine.
But that's the thing. You can't. This scheme is built around what you had on your team going into the season as what you have as starters. Now you're down and you don't even know who's starting on the outsides week in, week out.
I understand you in theory. Then in theory, you're right. But that they're not trying it. So we would never know if it's going to work or not.
Right. But these guys that they have is they get, because that's what happens with the scheme. They get guys that play that scheme well because that's the scheme they're playing. So now if you take them out of the scheme, they may not be the guy for that scheme. So they have to stay in the same type of scheme.
But then if you're not going to be able to replenish the players to fit the scheme, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, all right, we lost the best guys in the scheme, right? let's just say we lost Bosa and we lost D4.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about the defensive linemen. I'm talking about corners too.
Let me just finish. Let's just start with the D line though, because that's kind of how this defense is based. That makes our corners a little bit better than what they are, right? So let's just start.
It masks them, yeah.
Right. Let's start there. We're missing those two, and not only that, you're missing the depth that replenished those guys, right? Then you brought in new guys who are coming in, and then you had to continue to bring in new guys. Now they're injured, they're out for the year or whatever, to keep your scheme working, and it's still not working. And it's mainly because of what you said. We just don't have the personnel. I'm not saying change the scheme for life, but you got to adjust. Like, you can't be in this wide 9 all the time. I don't see any other teams playing wide 9 and they're stopping these quarterbacks. Miami stopped Russell Wilson. I mean, they won the game, but they were able to contain him sometimes. But my point is, we're watching quarterbacks be contained. They're not running the wide 9.
I think it's a little unfair that people say that we can't stop running quarterbacks. Like, there's been one running quarterback that has gone for over 80 yards on us. Just one. The whole time we've been here. It was Kyler Murray. He's got a game with 67 yards against us. Yeah. He's got a game with 91 yards against us, and he's got a game with like 82 yards against us.
I understand.
That little guy, he's a little slippery effort. They called him a squirrel for a reason. Other than that, quarterbacks that have good run games against us are 40, 27. It just happens to be on really big third downs.
But then that's all that matters, bro.
Right? No, but what I'm saying is, I just think it's a misconception that we can't stop running quarterbacks.
It's when it matters, Mike. Maybe can we throw that in there then? Like when it see, okay, if you go back to this game, I'm trying to think. There was one play, Fitzpatrick was able to get out of the pocket or whatever and ran up the middle, and then there's other plays where the defense, whether the line gets home or not, they can't get out on 3rd and longs anymore. There's a bunch of stuff we can't do due to the lack of personnel. I agree with Nick. I just feel like we should make amends and make changes. What do we have to lose? We're losing.
We also got to look at it this way, right? And like I said, with the speed on the outside, look how many times we could have sacked those quarterbacks who escaped the pocket, but we had no speed. There were guys right on their tails.
So whose fault is that?
That's the player's fault. That's poor execution.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just like the skill set or the scheme is there. They're doing their job. They're chasing the guys out of the pocket. They just can't chase them down.
They're designing plays.
And then on top of that, once the quarterback gets out, the DBs and the linebackers are in their coverage units with their backs turned.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that's why I can't say that it's scheme. I can't say, look, wide 9 is an aggressive ass defensive front, and
it's aggressive if you have the proper personnel,
right? But you can't change it because you brought these guys in here for that. Like you can't go and change a whole entire scheme in a week.
Whether you change the scheme or not, you have to find ways to adjust. But
what is there to adjust? It's the players. They just don't have the speed or the skill set.
But it's not. You got to stop saying speed because it's making it seem like they're too slow to run the plays that are called. So here, let me try to help you out here, Brian. If you had to guess a number of how many sacks we didn't get, but players had their hands on the quarterback per game this year. So again, how many sacks we didn't get per game, but we had our hands on the quarterback.
Just talking like half a step slow.
Like they got there but couldn't finish. You think
they won in this game?
3, 4
no, I'm going to say they're probably about 4 or 5 per game.
Per game, guys. We're 5 games in. That's 25 sacks. The scheme works because they're getting there, and that's what I think. I could be wrong. I think that's what Nick is saying. Why change a scheme that shows you can get there if the players aren't holding on? If the players aren't wrapping up the right way? If the players are the ones that are the scheme is designed to get you there. You're getting there. You got to finish, bro. Like you have to finish. I can't go in there and play for you. I can draw up the plays and you go and do what I'm telling you to do, you're getting the looks that you want. You're not finishing at the point. If it's 4 or 5, like Brian said, there's 20 to 25 sacks that we don't have this year. That's crazy.
I mean, because every game I'm like, come on, you could have had him. Like, you can see the defensive in there, or the defensive tackle, or the safety coming in and just missing on several occasions every game. I can't say specifically that's 5, but I would say 4 to 5 every game.
And that's the point, is that we can't sit here and say the scheme doesn't work. They're doing it. Okay, we're not getting there with the edges. I've seen multiple nickel blitzes. I've seen safety blitz. Quan Alexander just got a blitz last game. It's his first time, I think, as a Niner. Something crazy like that, right? Like, he hasn't done it. Right. No, he got it. He got the sack.
Oh, that one. I remember that now.
But it's his first one as a Niner. That's my point. Like, we can't say that they're not changing the scheme. They're doing it. They're doing everything they possibly can. We just talked about, not this week, but the week before, that Jamar Taylor came in and got the shark sack. That's what we called it, because they said it was a play call for shark. They're mixing it up. They're doing what they got to do to get home. The players have to execute it. And I think, Breezy, that's what Nick's point was, is that how much more can we change the scheme if what we're doing is working, but the players aren't executing? At some point, we got to put the onus on these players. Look, there's no fans in the stands. We can't give you any more energy. There's no more juice for us to give you. You got to go out there and play your game. You have to be a professional. You got to execute. And if they don't execute, the play calls won't matter. They won't.
Look, guys, at the end of the day, coaches got to make adjustments. So if I'm saying the wrong thing as far as changing scheme, they still got to adjust. If something's not working, you got to adjust. If you let a guy get burnt and torched 3 or 4 times a game, that's an adjustment. It's an adjustment. Give him help, take him out, do what you got to do as a coordinator to adjust. Not change the scheme, but maybe change the look of the scheme. Do something to help out players. I mean, you put you might as well say you put a rookie in there who ain't playing in 2 years, and he gets toasted. And at some point, whoever's fault it is, we don't necessarily know, because they be lying in California, right? They be lying in San Francisco. Like, some adjustment should have. You heard Eric Davis say, look, they should have made an adjustment. Somebody should have made the adjustment, whether it was Kyle Shanahan, who doesn't call defensive plays, but somebody should have made the adjustment. Yeah, and maybe that's what I'm alluding more to, adjusting.
Okay. So I get that part. No, and adjustments is still what everyone was saying. I think I was focused on pass rush. I don't think that's I know what I was talking. I was talking about pass rush. Now, if you talk about what Eric Davis was talking about, he blamed Saleh for leaving, what was this dude's name?
Brian Allen
out there for way too long and not putting safety or help over him or whatever. That I agree with also. So I do agree with that part of it. But I thought we were talking about the wide 9 and the pass rush.
Well, Nick brought up the other players, so I'm talking about the other players that is. I mean, I know what the pass rush does in the wide 9. You're saying the pass rush gets there. That's on the execution of the pass rush. Cool, no problem. Yeah.
But I was just saying the other players, because we were talking about running quarterbacks, and I was saying that they're downfield with their backs turned.
Right.
When the guys aren't executing up front and getting to the guy when they should and finishing, now they're getting, 5-10 yards because everybody's back is turned. At minimum, 5 to 10 yards.
Yeah. So now Riggs has a contribution here. Thank you for this too. Also, Mostert went from 29 carries in the NFC Championship game to 11 against the Dolphins. I'm going to stop here. In the NFC Championship game, we basically led from start to finish. So you run the ball more when you have a lead. When you're trailing the way we were and by multiple scores, the run game, it usually goes away, and you have to throw to catch up quickly. So that's the first sentence right there unpacked. Anybody disagree with that?
Well,
no, that's totally 100%.
I mean, I agree with what you said, but I wonder if what he means is we were only down by 14 and we weren't running the ball. We kept trying to throw the ball. Every time we ran the ball, it was 6 yards a carry, except for maybe 1 or 2 tries.
Mm-hmm.
Why did we stop running the ball being down when we could have,
Because I think it had to do with how easily Miami got up by 14.
Either way, we were running the ball effectively. If anything, you should keep the ball out of their hand.
I'm not, how I feel about those long drives, Wayne. I'm all about that. But
you got to remember that.
I feel like that
And the offensive
probably
line
were in a situation where they felt like they needed to pass the ball. They had to change it up because the running game wasn't working as well as they wanted it to.
Hold your thought, Brian. Hold your thought. Let me read the whole thing. I want to take it off so we can see you, and then we'll give it right back to you. Okay? I just want to be able to see you. I hate looking at just. I feel like the Wilson dude from
Home Improvement.
Yeah. So let me read this.
Banner time, bro.
And then
there it is, Brian.
Moser went.
That's all you get to see, Wilson.
In the NFC Championship. To 11 against the Dolphins. We only ran the rock against the Dolphins 19 times versus 42 in the NFC Championship. Super Bowl, we only ran it 22 times. So he's saying that we need to run the ball more, but all right, let's talk about it. Let's break it down. Go ahead, Brian. Back to what you were saying.
No, that was all I had to say. I'm sorry that I was cut. I had the banner up, but that's pretty much it. I did want to amplify that, even though we may not be getting home every time, the front scheme that we have is still somewhat working. I mean, you got Kerry Hyder, who's our backup defensive end at 3.5 sacks already. And I know that he's missed a couple, but we're only 5 weeks in. I mean, you look at some of the other defensive ends around the league and they're not there yet. So
I do want to say shout out to Kerry Hyder. He had the sack he had in this game was amazing. And I know it's Ryan Fitzpatrick, but I don't care. Ryan Fitzpatrick was nowhere near him. And he ran him down from the back and hit it from. He dragged him down from the back and pulled him. The way he pulled him down from the back was amazing, yo. I thought that was a great sack because he was nowhere in the play. He came unscathed, untouched, and got him down from the back. So shout out to Kerry Hyder. But guys, as far as running the ball, sometimes I think, Kyle Shan, you get. All right, how much of this game was a bunch of safe calls, yo? Like I just felt like you were watching most.
There were a lot of safe calls.
Okay, yo. So if that's the case, why we stop running the ball? We were only down 14-0.
The reason that I think we were throwing the football was you got to look at the times, right? We were driving down the field, then we threw an interception. We gave the ball back to him, right?
That wasn't until later.
There was one in the first quarter.
My point is those weren't till like late in the first second half.
No, I think Nick means later in the drive. Like we were driving successfully, and then here comes
we were driving successfully, then we threw an interception. Now they get the ball back. Now more time comes off the clock. We were playing catch up and running out of time. So you needed to score and score fast.
So we panicked
and get down the field. Well, that's football.
Not necessarily. It was 14-0. You still got a whole second half.
Of 14-0 where you have 9 minutes on a clock compared to 4 minutes on a clock is a big difference.
All I'm saying is in the beginning of the game, we weren't running the ball efficiently. we weren't running the ball enough. We were rushing. It's unfortunate we gave up a big bomb play and then the touchdown because of penalties. That was 7-0. We came back. We went 3 and out again. We came back the rushes were there though, and we talk about the offensive line and how they struggle in all this pass protection, and I remember I'll never forget the Indianapolis Colts offensive line. Jeff Saturday and Peyton Manning went at it, and I never seen a center give the quarterback the business. He told his quarterback, stop throwing the god-beeping ball and run it.
Right, but that's the same thing you killed them for in the first half.
What do you mean?
You specifically, you critiqued them for the opening drive was run, and then the pass, and you were like, why? Why weren't we mixing it up? Yeah, on the overreaction show. That's
the reason why I said that is because I think the other team knew that. I was saying that the other team predicted it was going to be run, pass, punt.
Right. So I think the reason why the play calling went the way it did is because we would run successfully on first down. Then you have a second and short. Now it's a mix-up. You can do play action. You can actually hand it off. You can take a shot because they don't know what's coming, right? But then when we run for 6 yards on first down, it's 2nd and 4, and then we go to throw the ball.
We didn't throw the ball. We ran it. We ran it on 2nd down and got 0 yards.
I'm not talking about the first drive anymore. I'm just saying in general now, like going for the rest of the game, why do we abandon the run? Because it was a 6-yard run on first down. 2nd down, it's like we could do whatever we want. Let's try a pass play, sack 3 yards, or incomplete pass. Now it's 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You don't, what do we do now? You get what I'm saying? So even though the first run was successful, it kind of the second down has been this team's Achilles heel all season long. And I'm not just saying that. There's a stat somewhere that tracks the Niners are the worst second down team in the entire NFL.
I got you.
So if we fall behind the sticks on that down, that forces us to come out and pass again on third down, and our pass pro isn't holding up. So now you end up only running once every.
But it doesn't have to force you to pass, depending on the down. I mean, depending on the drive. I'm sorry, it doesn't. It depends on how much you need. It's 3rd and 4. You don't have to pass it. You want to, but you don't have to, right? I mean, that's predictable. They know you're probably going to pass on 3rd and 4. So if you hit them with an unpredictable play, maybe a jet sweep. We didn't see that to the second half, 4th quarter, right? We got all these players back. You got Debo, you got Brandon Ayuk, you got the jet back there, but you give the jet sweep to the jet on a 4th and 1. Like, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I get what all of you guys are saying, and I kind of agree with that. I guess what I thought that Riggs was talking about was it just seemed like the running was successful, and then we kind of abandoned it really early, opposed to abandoning it when we definitely needed to have.
And we know that wasn't the game plan, by the way. This team expected to be playing from ahead and running more this year. That's why
you're talking about us, right? Yeah.
That's why they asked Mostert to gain the weight.
I got you. I didn't even know they did.
Mostert doesn't go out and just gain weight because he feels like it.
I didn't know that.
Told him, one, you're going to be the starter, so you're going to get more carries, and you have to bulk up to be able to take some of these hits that you're going to get.
Okay.
More carries, more hits. You got to bulk up. They didn't plan on playing from behind this year. They didn't plan on abandoning the run early. That's why they asked them to do those things. And so and what we're seeing is shit ain't working the way we wanted it to. That's all. Go ahead, Nick. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, we were down 21-7 with 7 minutes left in the half.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 series of the game, we ran Mostert first for 5 yards.
6.
No, 5 yards.
The first play was 6 yards. It was
Mostert right end to San Francisco 30 for 5 yards. First and 10 at San Francisco's 25. I'm reading it right on the thing. Then it was 2nd and 5. Raheem Mostert left tackle to San Francisco 30 for no gain. 2 passes to start off the game. Incomplete pass, and then we had a punt away.
Right.
Then just the second series, we ran Mostert to left guard for 7 yards. Then Garoppolo pass incomplete to Debo.
Now it's 3rd and 3.
That was the short pass.
Now 3rd and 3.
It was down at his feet. Yep.
Then we passed short middle for 15 yards to Brandon Ayuk for a first down.
That was the Ayuk play.
Yep. Then on first down, Jimmy Garoppolo sacked for 7-yard
That
loss.
was Trent Williams. Yep.
Then we passed it to Mostert for 5. So now it's 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 12. Sorry.
I get why in situations we didn't run, Nick. You don't have to go through it. I get that. I'm talking about
right, but I'm saying so the game you can see where the game plan changed because then they scored. So now it's 7-0. Then we passed, we ran. Then Jimmy was sacked for 8-yard loss. So now we have to pass again.
And then we have teams honest also, Breezy. Like you can't just keep running on first down. We ran on first down to open the first drive. We ran on first down the second drive. Third down, naturally, they're going to change it up because you can't just keep doing the same thing. First opening drive, 5 yards. Next drive, 7 yards, both on first down. Now the defense is thinking, the opposing team, y'all not going to catch me like that again, right? I'm not giving y'all another 5 to 7 yards. So boom, we're gonna prepare to stop this run.
And then the third series was a sack on first down.
Right, now we're gonna do a pass, but then they get home because the offensive line had the miscommunication. That was the Trent Williams.
And that series right there ended the first quarter.
Right. As soon as it doesn't work the way you want it to, that not only does that first quarter end, but that whole drive was shot to shit from that moment on. So
from the sack. No, I get it, guys.
So you can't do run. I know it's like, all right, well, guys, we're getting 6 yards every time we run, but you can't just run every single time. You got to keep the teams honest. The reason the run works is because they respect the pass. The reason the pass works is because they respect the run.
I hear what you're saying, but we've done this before, though, right? And that was in his comment. That was his point. His point was we've done this in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but we were also leading the whole game.
I understand that.
A second we were down.
I understand that. But I guess that his thing was we were running. I get it. We were leading, so we can continue to run. Even though they expect to run, we'll just keep running because we're winning. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we were wasting clock. Instead, this time we needed clock.
Even though they knew it was a run, we just kept doing it. But I get it. I get it. We were winning.
Well, yeah. Well, you have to. Why are you going to take the chance of?
I understand that. I'm just saying that's why we were running.
Mickey gets it. He's saying he agrees with you, bro. He gets it. No, we're all on the same page here. Everybody's on the same page. So we answered the question, the contribution. That's
right.
why in the NFC Championship it worked one way.
Right.
This game it didn't. You have to
lead in that game
because we're behind. You got to eat up clock and all that stuff. So all right. So all right. We didn't even talk about the defense this whole time. We talked about changing scheme and all that stuff. Guys, who are our starting corners next week?
It should be Akello unless he says he's an emergency cornerback again, and it's probably going to be this and Verrett if he's okay.
I will be honest. I have not heard what Dante Whitner had to say about Akello. Does anybody have that audio?
I can upload it really quickly and play it.
So while Breezy's pulling that up, everyone's been like, "Yo, he went off on your boy. Oh, he went off on your boy." Now I haven't heard anything at all. Dante Whitner is a very emotional speaker. And he thinks that everybody is him. It's not how it works. All right. So I don't know anything. I don't know what he said. I imagine that he thinks Akello didn't want to play, and he's upset about that.
It was more about. It wasn't just on Akello. I mean, he talked about that. We'll let the whole thing play, but his main thing wasn't about Akello Witherspoon. So if you didn't see,
we got a contribution here also. Let me find it. Mark says, thank you for the contribution also, man. He says, so why did we pass on 3rd and short in the Cards game? We should have ran it. I don't know, down distance field position. We
addressed that though. I think what he was talking about was when we expected the run and they went with the play instead, or with the pass instead, because of who we had on the field.
Weren't we winning this game? We were winning at that point, I think.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. That's why I said I can't answer it. I'm not trying to be, a jerk. I need
You're a jerk. I know. You're a jerk.
I need more context in 3rd and short against the Cardinals. So I don't know. I can't answer. I'm sorry, Mark, man. I can't answer you, bro. But if you guys
watch that movie, The Jerk. You ever seen the movie The Jerk?
So what do you think happened there? You said it was a situation where we should have passed.
Well, if it's where I think he's talking about, we should have run the ball, but personnel that we had on the field at the time, we decided to opt with the pass because, and this may be me overthinking it, but it was one of those situations where it should be a run and we had the personnel to run, but we passed the ball instead because they would have known it was running. We were going to run the ball, or
because of the personnel, right?
Because of the personnel. So then we passed trying to get something done differently and breaking away from our normal scheme that we would use to surprise the other team.
You know what's crazy, man, on this game that we just experienced? The Niners were 9-point favorites and everything. If you were a gambling man and you went to mybookie.com, if you put $100 on the Dolphins in this game, you guys want to guess how much money you would have made? The 49ers were 9-point favorites in this game.
I'm just gonna guess like $1,500.
No, it wasn't that high, but it was a nice $320.
Wow,
$100 bet, you would have more than tripled.
I gotta learn how to bet.
Yeah, you would have more than tripled your money. So, and that's just a singular bet. That's really hard to do on a singular bet. Like normally, you got to do parlays to make that kind of, like you bet $100 and you win, you get 160. That's normally how a bet works. But this was a big one here. So this game, I would have never bet that Jimmy Garoppolo would have come out and played the way he did. And no. I think everyone would have sided with me. He had his worst game of his career. I don't think anyone expected Jimmy Garoppolo's worst game of his career. I would have never bet that we only every drop back was worth 3.2 yards a drop back. That's the lowest, second lowest in Shanahan's era. There's so many other things here that happened in this game. The Niners giving up over 40 points at home.
The Niners still not winning at home, bro.
Right. But like, I understand we're not winning at home, but like that many points, that hasn't happened. The Dolphins game in 2017. I mean, not Dolphins, Falcons. 2017 was the last time that happened. Over 40 points in our house. So if you're a gambling man, listen, sometimes you got to be cautious. Sometimes you have to be careful. You have to be mindful of the bets. Not everything is easy. And sometimes you got a gut feeling. I guarantee you there were some Dolphin fans out there that said, you know what, man? I think we can get them this time. I think we can get them. I watched the Nothing But Niners show. They said that none of these offensive players have played together all year long. I think we can get them. That offensive line has been struggling. Our guys have nothing to lose. I think we can get them. I guarantee you there were Dolphin fans that said, Ryan Fitzpatrick knows that there are two corners out there that have never played in the NFL. We're going to go get them. And they did it. And if they put
we had a person in the chat that kept saying that when we were doing the pregame show.
Yeah. Yep. They know about it. And if you guys were one of the ones that did it, salute to you, man. But if you guys are thinking about doing it, you got a gut feeling, you have an itch, you got a source that's telling you, hey, this is a bet you need to make. Go to mybookie.com, use promo code NB9ERS. They will match your initial deposit, and they match your initial deposit. You get it in your winnings, you get it in your gambling, and they break it all down for you. It's all over there. So go to mybookie.com, use promo code NB9ers, make your bets, but gamble responsibly. That was my point with all this one. I would have never guessed that Jimmy Garoppolo would have had this game. So gamble responsibly, guys. Don't always trust your gut, because my gut would have led me astray when it came to this 49ers and Dolphins game. So that's going to do it for the mybookie.com promotion. All right, Nick, I know you were pulling up a video, man. What you got for us? I don't even see it now. You took it down.
No, I wasn't.
Hey, real quick, while we're waiting for that to come up, I just want to make a real quick point. I know it's not going to stop, and it's not to us in here, but to the chat, and hopefully they spread it out. But I'm really tired of hearing that I wish Buckner was here. We offered him a nice contract, and he turned it down. He left us. We didn't get rid of him.
Not only that, the defensive tackle position was fucking up the team.
It's not.
If anything, that's actually a really good strong point on the team.
And actually, we're actually not giving up 100 yards to running backs this year.
Yeah. Like I said, we just got stomped. Almost 500 yards of, I think it was really close to 500 yards of offense. They didn't get over 100 yards rushing. So y'all got to cut that out. This has nothing to do with Buckner. Absolutely nothing to do with.
If it wasn't for the Buckner trade, we couldn't have kept Armstead, which I know people will bitch about. We wouldn't have been able to draft Kinlaw because we wouldn't have had the money, the pick there to get it. You wouldn't have gotten Ayuk because you wouldn't have got the secondary pick to go move up to get him. Exactly. And you wouldn't have had the money to sign Hyder or any of the depth that we currently have and need due to injury.
Talk your shit, Ryan. Talk your shit, baby. Let's go.
I know it's not going to stop because everybody wants to do all kinds of things that are just not financially possible. But I know that they offered them the best offer that the 49ers could afford to give him because they wanted him to stay. He was a vital piece.
Buckner, 19 year, right?
He was, he had a chance to stay, and he opted to go because he wanted the money. That's what I think.
He got 21, but they offered him 19, right?
Yeah, it was close to 19. It was like 18 point something.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, Jesus. I mean, and we ended up paying Armstead 17, right? So, I mean, the team did what they had to do. And you got a guy who's more versatile for that money, for less money.
Right. He could play all over the line.
And now, I know a lot of people are beating up Armstead and saying he's not having a good year because the sack numbers aren't there. I don't think Armstead's having a bad year either. We have to differentiate between a good year and a bad year. He might not have a record-setting year, but that doesn't mean that person's having a bad year. So,
right. And Kinlaw's been outstanding so far.
And he's, you know what I hate? I hated listening to people talk about a player saying, "Oh, he's getting better and better every game." But if you watch Kinlaw, this dude is legit getting better
every game,
single game, and like it's noticeable. It's not just like the first game I was like, "Oh man, we might have messed up." Like I I was nervous after the first game. The Cardinals game, I felt like Kinlaw was getting worked out there. I felt like he was playing super high with his pad level. And I was like, look, a guy with that size, you're playing high, you're done. Your pad level's not good. He got the pad level low next game. Then all of a sudden he developed some more power in his run. Like, I don't know. It's game by game. This dude is really turning up. All right, I'm going to shut up. Nick, what you got for us, man?
I mean, I'm not even going to touch on the Buckner stuff. I mean, that is just, he didn't want to be here. So we traded him. We did what was best for the team to put us in a good position. Kinlaw may not look it right now, but he's going to be way better than Buckner.
Yeah, man.
Talk your shit, Nick. Oh, I gave out 2 of them in 5 minutes.
Yeah, way higher ceiling. Way higher ceiling.
Way higher ceiling. I mean, full rush, the moves. I mean, I already said on the show one time that losing Nick Bosa hurt his growth because of the reason that he was learning so much from Nick Bosa. Exactly. Their hand swipes and their hand placement look almost identical in some of these plays. This is perfect. Marine Ranger hits it right on the head. This is exactly where I was going. This kid is only going to grow, and he's only going to continue to get better. And like Mike said, you see it back to back games where he's getting better and better and better. And then, look, you guys can all talk shit if you want. DeForest Buckner was overrated. Overrated. I don't care what any of y'all say. The dude's overrated. He's playing well in Indy. Congrats. He's going to have a good year there, and then he's going to go down and get 3 sacks. He's going to go 17 and a half, and then he's going to get 3. Like, come on. This guy had one of the best defensive lines in the league and still didn't beat a 17 and a half sack season. When you're the star player, and that's who you were. That's what you were. You needed to. You were the only defensive lineman performing on a horrible line.
He went ghost. Ghost, man.
When it comes to our defense, we shot ourselves in the foot, I think, right off in the offseason when we didn't go after help in the secondary. I think we did fine rearranging or adding in positions, however you want to call it, to adding players, to the defensive line to make up for where we thought we might have losses. And I think that the decisions that the team made for the 53-man roster for the linebackers was awesome. But I don't know why they didn't address an area that they knew was weak. That just didn't make sense to me all offseason.
You know what's weird is that this team is showing you that we have what it takes to be contenders, and we have some solid depth. The problem is that we're so deep into the depth that it's players being signed off the street and starting for us now. That's not depth. That's just, hey, we got to play a game or forfeit. That's not depth. These guys that we're seeing out here right now were not and are not part of the game plan. So we have to keep that in mind. That Giants game ruined people's perspective so much. It really, really did. They took this next man up phrase and mentality and just assumed that player 6 can play as good as player 1. They can't. There's a reason that they're in levels and tiers. And we were spoiled. We really caught a bad team at the right time, and everything worked in our favor. We have to keep in mind what's going on, guys. This team is beyond injured. It's beyond injured on the defense. When you're playing with corners that you've never heard of until 2 days before the game, that's a problem. It's not a good, and they're starting. They're not the depth. They're not the backup in case someone gets hurt. That's who they are. Breezy, you got that? You have that Dante Whitner audio? All right, let's get to that, and then we'll get up out of here, man. We're going to wrap this show up soon. I can't believe we've done almost 2 hours already. So
I'm going to come back on to do a show just on how overrated DeForest Buckner is.
I'm going to join you.
I'm getting sick and tired of these fans telling me I'm a fickle. Like, dude, you're sitting here talking about, well, that's why he got double teamed hella times. He was on a bad team. Like, and then when you go look at his one-on-one tape, he can't even beat one-on-ones.
Not only double team, not only that, but when your defense is playing wide 9, you can't double team that guy that's way out there. So that's a one-on-one with the tackle.
Bro.
Right? And then there's 3 guys in the middle and only 2 guys on the defensive side. So one person's going to get double teamed. They're going to double team the veteran. He didn't get never mind. I'm not going to do it.
Bro, that comment said it all. He had one good year on a bad team and he got crowned. And then now Niners fans think he's gold and we go by the name. That's all it is. Niner fans are all the same. It's not about production consistently over years. It's about one good year. And then you're like, oh, well, we're going to miss DeForest Buckner. Like, move on, man.
Bro, I was saying that. I was saying.
Was DeForest Buckner not overrated last year?
Nick, I was saying it while he was here for the last 2 years. I was saying it. Like, I just
don't I don't understand fans. They watch football and listen and see one good season and swear. Look, it happens all over the league, especially with Niners fans with certain people, man. Like, you guys booed that we got Emmanuel Sanders over
and how many tweets did you see during the Saints game? Oh, I wish we had
Mohamed Sanu. You were mad that we didn't get Mohamed Sanu, and then you cried that we got Emmanuel Sanders. And then as soon as Emmanuel Sanders came here, y'all loved him. Right. So, like, look, Emmanuel Sanders had his first big game of the year last night, and that's because Michael Thomas is out right now.
Yeah, exactly. So he didn't have anyone else that. Man, look, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this right now, Nick.
No, I'm definitely dedicating a show to. It's going to be how overrated DeForest Buckner is. We're going to go through all his tape, so all these people can. I'm going to set it up seriously, because I'm going to put the tape up on him getting beat one-on-ones where he couldn't even beat a piss poor ass tackle in a one-on-one.
Breezy, you ready, man? I just don't know what else to say. Let's hear what Dante Whitner had to say about this. Is only about Witherspoon or it's other players also?
It's about defense.
Oh, okay, about the defense. Okay, here we go.
Robert Saleh, you really let this football team down today. I put everything on him. If they don't give up those big passes and those early scores, they're able to stick with the running game a little more. They're able to use the misdirection. They're able to use the play action pass. Once you fall behind 2 or 3 scores, your running game is out the window. And now you have to rely on your quarterbacks to read defenses. And it was very difficult for them to do today. So Robert Saleh, this game is on you.
His decision is that I'm healthy enough to dress, not healthy enough to start, but healthy enough to go in when Brian Allen struggles. How does that all play out behind the scenes?
Initially, it's on the player. If you know that you can get out there and compete and help your football team, why would you sit on the sideline and you know that this guy is overmatched? And this is why I've been saying the entire year, and I'm going to say it now. Ahkello Witherspoon is soft. S-O-F-T. And you let the football team down by allowing this young guy to get out there. You guys fell behind by 3 scores, and there's no coming back. So it's on him and Robert Saleh.
Okay, so let me just say this. Without violating any relationships that I have, that's not what I heard at all about Ahkello. I heard Ahkello wanted to play and wanted to start. And as the week went on, following the game, the story that I heard, points started to add up towards what I heard versus what was said. We'll never know the truth. I wasn't there. I'm just believing what I was told. The media is going to believe what they were told, but you can't call a player soft because he didn't start. Shanahan said why he didn't start, and it wasn't just Ahkello's decision. Based off of what Shanahan said, it wasn't just Ahkello's decision. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you guys respond to what you heard. Now, you guys can.
Well, we heard
really anything to add. So, I know he's your guy, Mike, but the first time I saw Ahkello come onto the stage at not Brick by Brick, but the State of the Franchise or whatever it was when they brought everybody out in the red shirts with him and Gould and everybody else, and the way he spoke and the way he talked about football, he's not a dog as far as I'm concerned. He's soft like Pettis.
Look. This is what I'm going to go back and I'm going to reference something that Eric Davis said last night or the overreaction show. And we see it here. Ahkello Witherspoon and Dante Pettis are in the doghouse with the Shanahans.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric Davis said this in the Shanahan family, if you get in the doghouse, you're not getting out.
Mm-hmm.
And this is exactly why Akello Witherspoon has not been playing on this team, because he's in a Kyle Shanahan doghouse.
Yep.
And the reason that I say that is, and at first, if you guys remember, Akello Witherspoon, after his injury, had certain things going on, and he had a bicker back and forth with the coaches about something. Ever since then, Akello hasn't been playing. If you remember, Dante Pettis had a bicker with the coach. He came out and said it this year in his press conference. I got aggressive with the coach about things he was saying instead of taking it as criticism. And bam, Dante Pettis isn't playing. So I believe ED now. ED, look, if these players are saying that they want to play or are going to do what they want to do,
it don't matter.
It doesn't matter because they're in the doghouse.
Exactly.
And I believe Eric Davis, by saying Shanahan, because he knows Mike and he knows the way Kyle is, that if you get in these doghouses, there ain't no getting out.
You know why they in the doghouse? Because they soft. That's it. End of discussion. Thank you for tuning in to the Nothing But Niners show, guys. That's what it is. That's why they're there.
I don't think it's just.
Oh, they're soft, bro. If you couldn't come on this field and do what you were supposed to do when you were supposed to do it, and then you got yourself in the doghouse, and now you're not playing anymore. I agree with what you said. I agree with the doghouse.
But I didn't say anything about being soft.
I am, though. I'm telling you why they're in the doghouse.
Right, but they're not in the doghouse for that. I said why they're in the doghouse.
I'm telling you why they're in the doghouse, because they couldn't go out on the field and produce, and because of that, they're soft.
That's not true, because Akello Witherspoon. I'm not a big Akello guy, but Akello went on the field and produced, and then got injured and had it out with the coach about something, and we haven't seen him since.
Akello went on the field last year before he got into the doghouse, before he was deemed soft, and was balling out. Then he got injured. I don't know what happened. I don't know what got dialed up. And then Akello Witherspoon never came back proper right. He never came back the same Akello Witherspoon. Just like we haven't seen this, and just hear me out. This is my theory. Just like we haven't seen the same Dante Pettis, who was also injured, if you want to say he was injured, and the same thing that we might be saying about Jimmy Garoppolo. Guys, I gotta go. But these guys might be soft and they're in the doghouse. And Jimmy might be on his way to the doghouse as well.
So Breezy has his opinion. I have mine. Doghouse, I think we all agree. The reasons why we differ, we don't know. We won't know. We'll never find out.
We'll never know.
We just have to trust our guts and go with it there. Mark, thanks for the contribution. And, look, at some point, a team is going to have their feet to the fire. The Niners are there right now. You don't have a choice to have personal vendettas and grudges. You have to put your best players out there, because now, all of a sudden, the microscope is on you, Kyle Shanahan. The microscope is on you, Robert Saleh. All the excuses are going to start to fade. This team is not 40+ to 17. We're not that kind of team. That's not how we get down here.
Nope.
Even on our worst day, we're not that team. For you to have all those offensive weapons and to only produce 17 points, it's not acceptable. Y'all can say what y'all want about Jed York. That's not his standard. It's not.
Nope.
It's not. And he's not going to let that shit ride for too much longer. You got a 1 week pass.
Well, I think they get longer than that because of the injuries, but yeah.
No, not on offense. Not on offense, you don't.
Well, they're just coming back. So if they don't start producing, you're right. He's going to be he's going to have to pull the trigger eventually.
I don't know, guys.
Right.
These guys were extended, man. I think after the Nick Bosa injury, who doesn't play offense, I think after that Nick Bosa injury, I think they were given the pass for the season.
No. One man does not make or break a season.
I understand, Mike. I understand your theory. I got you. But I'm just telling you, Kyle and John ain't going nowhere. Can guarantee that.
They got their
not due to this season. You're right.
No. They're not going anywhere this year. But they will be reprimanded. They will be harshly spoken to, and they will be put on notice.
Okay, we shall see.
This ain't gonna fly. This is not gonna be an excuse. You chose to ignore the secondary. You chose to ignore the quarterback position. You chose to address the D line so much with these players, and they're still not here. All of this is pro and con is a direct effect of what you chose to do. And so when things are great and you make it to the Super Bowl, I will praise you publicly. I will put you on your pedestal. But when you are in the bottom, I'm also going to blame you.
They're not.
You don't have it both ways. And right now, I'm going to give you your mulligan. But what we saw from the offense is not acceptable. You had your coach, you had your quarterback, you had your tight end, you had your running back, you had all your receivers, and you had your tight end. There is no excuse for that offense to put up 17 points. Oh, well, they didn't play together. Okay, that's your mulligan.
There's no excuse, Mike, but
and now they got to get it together. Listen, the defense carried this team last year for a lot of it. The defense carried the team last year for a lot of the season. Now we got to turn around. We don't beat Tampa Bay week 1 without that defense getting those 2 pick sixes. It doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. They carried him. They did their part. Shanahan, you got your quarterback. You got your weapons. Now it's your turn to relieve the defense. That's how I feel. The defense effed up this game. I'm not going to make any qualms, no mistakes about it. This game, the defense messed up. Absolutely. But now we need the offense to carry the defense. Shanahan, the microscope is on you. Those are my final thoughts. I'm going to shut up. You guys got the floor.
Finally, Mike, we agree. I love it. I feel like we're back in sync. I agree. I say it all the time. Like, as much as you guys are like, 80% correct, the players got to go out there and execute. Well, the coaches got to execute as well. So if they're that 20%, or if you want to give them more percentage, they got to execute as well. And it's not just on the field with play calls. It's management, time, money, like everything. Like they're just failing as a whole organization at the moment. And it's not a panic situation or whatnot, but let them keep getting beat up like this. And then Mike is right. Mike is right. If Jed York could come out here and praise everybody and put them on a pedestal, he could dang sure take you off of it. That's his job. And I kind of want to see some fire. Like, I want to see a fired up general manager for a change instead of just a yes guy. I think we don't hold Kyle. I don't think we hold our coaches to the same standards we hold our players, and I think that's a big mess up. Like, I think we need to hold the coaches to those same standards. So I agree with Mike. Coaches got to fix their stuff too. It starts with them. If the players believe in you, they'll go out there and do what you need them to do. And something is off. Somebody ain't believing somebody.
No, and I agree with both of you. I think that, that's where it has to start. But, you can look at it and say, well, we're banged up, and then one player doesn't mean, doesn't make a difference. But when you lose someone like Bosa, that's definitely going to have a lasting effect throughout the season. But then again, getting a person back is not going to help. So everybody who's like, well, just wait till Sherman comes back. Sherman, I thought, was a problem last year. He lost the Super Bowl as far as I'm concerned, because he got torched twice at the end. But if the coaches, specifically Saleh and Kyle, can't make adjustments and play to their game plan to their players' strengths, this team is going to end the season like 6-10 probably. And that's, I may be off a game or two there, here and there, but I'm not expecting as much. But, I still love the team. I will always be faithful, but there's a difference between being faithful and foolish. And to just assume that we're going to be able to do things that we are not going to be able to do is just insanity. And those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, look, we can finish, 3-13 right now, and the coaching staff's not getting fired. It's not going anywhere. Once the extensions were just done, obviously before the season, and that was in thinking that we were going in this season with a healthy team. While I agree with Wayne on coaches need to do better with, adjustments and things like that, but I talked about this when we were doing bad, when we are 4-12 year. Yes, the coaches are responsible for putting the players in the right position, but how many times have we had blown coverages this year that have given things up because we're playing with our 5th and 6th guys? This isn't our 2nd guys, our 3rd guys. These are guys that were backups to backups, and some coming off a practice squad. There's only so much you can do with them, with players that aren't really NFL ready. I don't want to say talent, but because there is talent, obviously they're playing in the league, right? So, but we can't just keep sitting here and blame it all on the coaches. Now, look, there were some things that Robert Saleh could have done this weekend. He could have made some simple changes, as in pull Jimmy Ward over, or, put some extra help on that side, or, Kyle Shanahan makes the announcement that what was the other cornerback's name? Not Nelson.
Sorry, which quarterback cornerback
was behind Allen? What was the next guy up? Webster. That's it. Sorry, Webster. Where did this guy get a tight hamstring? In warm-ups?
Yeah, it's news to everybody.
I didn't understand that, because he was like, well, we were going to go to Webster, but he still had an issue with a tight hamstring. So why is he your 2nd guy up with a tight hamstring? So, those are little things that, aggravate me. But, look, I understand that a lot of people want to blame this on Saleh, and a lot of people want to blame it on coaching. And the fact of the matter is, we're a bad team right now because we're playing with backups to backups. That's what offensively, there's no excuse other than this team hasn't really had a lot of chance to mold and mend together because of the fact that so many people have been in and out of the lineup. Now, if it doesn't start to kick in within this week to next week to the week after, then that starts to turn to Kyle Shanahan, because now you're not producing with players that your starting player, your starting caliber players, as in the Debos, the Mosterts, the Garoppolos, the Ayuks. A lot of people aren't even talking about how Trent Taylor was benched this week. So Kendrick Bourne is your number 3 receiver right now, right? We didn't even touch on that. But look, the fact of the matter is, we were going up against look, it's not going to get any easier this week, because we went up to Vontae Parker and Preston Williams last week. This week we got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, just to name a few. There are no slouches over there. If you don't get pressure on Jared Goff, he can eat you up. And we'll talk about that later in the week. But final thoughts are, man, this is a bad team playing with backup players. And I understand people want to blame it on the coaches, but the coaches can only do so much. The players have to execute, whether it's starters, backup players, backup to the backups, or backups to the backups. So, look, be prepared for a long season. Look, it's week 5. Can we turn around? We got 11 games left. We can absolutely 100% turn it around. But as of right now, until we see something else, this is what you should expect until this team turns around. And that's just keeping it real.
And to second what you're saying, the biggest thing is to ignore everything that happened last year. You can only judge a team based off of who they are in front of you. There's years that teams won the Super Bowl and then even make the playoffs the next year. It happens. So we have to keep that in mind. A team is who they are, not who they were. That's it. This isn't the 5-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers. This is the 2-3 2020 San Francisco 49ers. That's it. We're going to get up out of here, man. I think I'm going to start some shit on Twitter with Dante Whitner. So you guys can be on the lookout for that. I'll see you guys later, man.
I just want to say this real quick. Piff Daddy 420 says at least Verrett is doing okay. I got to give a shout out to Verrett. Verrett's playing really, really good. And this is a good sign for our team moving forward when we do get healthy. So big shout out to him, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what I'm seeing from Brett. And I think he held up well last week also. So, we talked a lot about the offense and picked them apart, and we didn't touch much on the defense, but I think we did touch on the defense enough. Robert Saleh made a mistake with that corner and not sending help, and the run game was fine. The linebackers played good games. The defensive line played a good game up front. Now they got to get home and finish, but I don't think it was worth dwelling on. I think the biggest thing is the offense didn't help out the defense. And that's what it comes down to.
Well, that's the thing. We don't get beat as bad if the offense performs.
Right.
And that's the thing. So, like, people are sitting here blaming on the defense for giving up 43 points or doing this or doing that or blaming it on coaches. The offensive players didn't execute. If we score more points, we're in that game.
Right. If we score more points, the drives are longer, and that's less time that they have to score. The defense, it changes everything, and the offense just did not show up. It didn't. That's just how it is.
And look, we're getting close to Richburg coming back, and I do think that he boosts this line. And if he plays center and Garland can go to guard, then look, that I know it's only boom like that kind of move, but it's a big move.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference. So if we can hold on, pull out a couple wins to week 7, maybe week 8, getting Richburg back, obviously, once playing in, then
Richburg also understands defense is better. So when he's pointing that out to the quarterback, it changes so much, guys. We'll get into that when he's back, and that should be soon, right? We got another week or two.
I think week 7 he's able to come back.
Something like that. He's so all right, but
it's week 6, so week 7 he can come back.
Okay.
But open his window. Yeah.
So we're getting close to it. Hopefully it works out for us. But guys, we'll be back. We'll break all that stuff down, and you guys stay tuned for the what are the shows called in between?
Crossover?
No, not that. Like when we bring like little breaking news, the ones that we upload, not the anyway, we're gonna upload a video.
Briefings.
Yeah, the briefings. Yeah. Be on the lookout for the briefing videos. Those aren't live, those were pre-recorded. So you guys look for those if any news breaks. We'll do the breaking news, but other stuff like updates throughout the week. We'll do that for you in the briefings, and we're also going to have the video for you to comment on. We will call it something along the lines of 10,000 entry, whatever. You'll know it when you see the name of it. So make sure you guys comment on it. We're going to give you a full week to comment on that video because not everyone will see it. So that's going to do it for us here tonight, man. Guys, I thank you all for joining us, man. Appreciate you guys. Brian, I appreciate the passion, man. I didn't have it in me tonight. You had it in you. I like that, man. I like it. I appreciate the passion, man. Nick, man, with the good opinions and the video clips and all that. You guys are great, man. It's our Voltron, man. This is what we do over here. So that's going to do it for tonight, man. And we're going to get up out of here. Prepare for glory.
Anticipate pain.
But always remain faithful.